What is up, everybody? And live fire every Friday night, 10 p.m. EST. Here we are. Let's go. I cannot wait to jump into tonight. So much stuff has happened this week. Dude, I don't even know where to start. But I'll tell you this: my name is Chris, guys. I'm a Green Beret medic. I run a channel called Common Freaking Sense. And then obviously co-host on I Came With Fire podcast. And oh, there he is, just running a little late. Get your happy little New Jersey ass in here.
Cool
all right, he made it.
Former lieutenant of the Civil Air Patrol.
Fucking damn it!
There it is.
It's been 30 seconds. I've been on, and I'm already getting shit. This sounds like hanging out with my best friend Loper. Thank you for watching.
There it is, dude.
And guys, I'm Brandon, lead host of I Came With Fire podcast, former military police officer, and I just want to let our guest introduce himself again, even though he's been on here before, because he's handsome, and that's really the only reason why he's on here, because he's hot. Chris and I both think he's hot. So yeah,
that's it.
I mean, I do have a great mustache. It's fine.
You do.
Yeah, you have a so-so mustache.
Chris's mustache is very Tombstone. Just saying.
His is, right. I don't have to report in for duty, and I don't have to shave fuck you mustache. That's what his mustache is.
100
He deserves it. He deserves it.
Yeah.
I would say on a scale of like 1 to Tom Selleck, you're coming in at like a solid 4.
I'm gonna need shorter shorts and a Magnum PI like Miami Vice type deal.
Yeah, you need like a Hawaiian shirt on and a midget.
Right. A Ferrari Robin 1 on the license plate. I do. Right. I have a thing.
A 1987 Lamborghini Countach. That's like my dream Miami Vice raiding cartel car right there.
There you go.
I have the mind that the vet gets him wet. So that's where I'm at, you know. Cheers, boys. Let's do this.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers, guys.
Pinky's out. Oh. Adam's like, I'm drinking lemonade, guys.
It's not. I mean, it has lemonade in it.
Hey,
man, Taco's in the chat.
What's up, man, Taco? Welcome back.
Bienvenidos for our bilingual listeners.
All right, so anyway, Adam, introduce yourself, because we've got so much to get through tonight that if we don't get through the introductions, we're just not going to get there.
Yep, I'm Sergeant Adam Dorito. I am an intelligence analyst in civil affairs in the Army. I'm an Air Force Academy guy that really pissed off the DoD. And at the end of the day, my main objective is to reform retaliation and sexual assault legislation with the military. That's been my mission for over 14 years now. But in the meantime, I'm a paratrooper, I'm a farmer, I'm an oil and gas worker in the state of Colorado that decided to dip his toe in politics. And, one of the main objectives that I met you guys with is getting good people to run for office and actually change our country and do all the good things. And we can only do that by having good conversations and talking shit with memes. If we don't do that, we can't change the world. And according to the DoD now, we can go to jail for making memes now. So I'm just going to make more.
That's the thing.
Man.
That is the thing that happened.
I saw a comment today. Somebody said, I wish we'd go back to the advice my grandpa used to give everybody about how we shouldn't talk about politics. And I was like, you know what, man? Maybe the fact that we shied away from having difficult conversations is why we're in this mess in the first place.
I agree. Yeah, we shied away from talking religion and politics at the dinner table, and now look where it's gotten us. A bunch of transgender atheists.
Yeah, well, and what I've been saying too. The Last Supper.
We'll get to it. We will get to it.
I'll slow it down.
Believe that. But no, I was saying earlier too, because I got a chance to do a spot on Two Mics Live, which shout out to all that crew. But I said, it's Americans thought that they could put their government on cruise control. Like, that's what happened, and that's not the way that it's supposed to be. It's a government of the people, by the people, for the people, and if you don't put a hand on the steering wheel, we're on this car together, and now it's careening off a cliff, and it's the reason, that's exactly the reason that we are in the state that we're in, is because you all took your hands off the steering wheel. You thought, oh, that's cool, I don't have to do anything. The government, runs itself. No, it doesn't. You are the government.
No,
you're the government.
Gen X trusted them too much, man. That's really the harsh reality.
Yep.
Right.
I know Adam's big on that, dude. Let's jump in, Chris. I know I'm fired up, dude. I'm fired up.
I got this. I want to play this for you guys, and I hope it plays, because this is gonna set the tone for the whole night. It doesn't really fit in with anything else. It doesn't really fit in with the memes or anything else. But just this is like the most epic rant that I've heard in a long time.
Set the tone.
Biden is out and Kamala is in. The election went from dual runnings to pool runnings faster than a female cop can fumble her firearm. Move over, RFK. This November we've got a new throat goat, and apparently her headshots don't miss. Kamala Harris, or as we call her, War Hawk Tua, the half-black, half-Indian
Dude, the Warhawk Tua.
robbery is officially the Democratic nominee. Surely the Dems, the party that calls Trump the end of democracy, surely they allowed the voters to choose Kamala, right? What?
Right?
No?
Right?
Wait,
No?
there's no right to choose? Guys, this is a presidential election,
Saving
not a woman's
democracy.
body in Oklahoma. Now,
Speed
I don't want
run.
to seem like a flat-earthing dinosaur denying.
That's
believe all
Mantaco. That's
women
freaking Brandon's
conspiracy
chair.
theorists,
You can
but
hear
it
Brandon's
kinda
chair
feels
squeaking
like
when he
the
moves.
Democrats dragged Biden's lifeless corpse through the campaign long enough to avoid a primary so they could place whoever they wanted as the nominee. And that's about as
changed my mind.
democratic as North Korea's Got Talent. Sidebar, last year's winner Ching Chong Chestnut ate 46 rats.
I love it when he cracks himself up. He's like, hold on.
I know, dude. That's how you know it's funny, man.
Next year. What I'm saying is they used a vegetable to install a plant. And honestly, we would have been happier with a fruit. But the reality is it doesn't
Keep
matter.
up, gig.
Last week,
Shout out to
Trump
Keep Up, gig, guys.
invincible, literally. He was leading before, and now he's number one with a bullet. At this point, if the Dems wanted to
bullet.
beat 50
Dude,
Cent, they'd
what
have
a
to run
great
George
reference,
Washington.
man.
And Kamala could work
Non-point?
for him. Paid. Now,
Paid.
why is Trump invincible? Because he has the power of
Post-turtle.
Hulkamania, obviously,
Post-turtles,
brother
baby.
with a hard R, and also
Brother.
because this pimple-lipped, pug-faced incel, we'll call him a trench bulldog, tried to make Trump's brain public
you can hear that,
domain.
right?
Fortunately, even a bullet
Dude,
could have made
Adam's in the
Donald
chat,
open-minded.
bro. Fucking
Now, getting
love
a
Adam.
shot off at the president must
There
be
he
an
is.
incredibly difficult thing to accomplish. I mean, not as difficult as finding binoculars to fit his eyes. Jesus, he looks like the sloth from Ice Age. But he must have designed a pretty ingenious
How have I
plot to
never
circumvent
seen
the
that
Secret
before,
Service
dude?
and oh, what's that?
Epic rant, dude.
Wait, you're saying that Herbie Potter was just walking around with a loaded
Potter.
gun like he was on an Alec Baldwin set? He was carrying a fucking ladder and a rangefinder. He propped it up on a
Dude,
building
this
that
is
had
gold.
cops in it.
And he had a
positioned himself
drone.
on the roof
It's
with a
fine.
perfect sight line
Right?
to the
It's
president.
okay.
Oh, he
No
doesn't-
one did
he's not even
anything.
taking a
This
breath.
Mickey Mouse security detail.
Dude, he reminds
was
me of
so
a civil
goofy,
air
it made
patrol
Donald
lieutenant who
duck.
just got too
Oh,
much
boy.
power.
Who's in charge of the Secret Service? A lady? Wait, what? Seriously? Well, of course she didn't have anyone on top of the building. Women only care about shots on a roof when there's a pool party. Now, I
Nailed
don't want to
it.
seem like a Bigfoot tracking, moon landing denying Jews don't control the weather conspiracy theorist, but it doesn't
Conspiracy.
exactly feel like a 20-year-old fetal alcohol-faced McLovin should be able to infiltrate the most advanced security detail in history. I mean, the only other thing he's penetrated
Bro,
was his
what?
palm. Did Kim Cheadle hire Epstein's NyQuil Night Watch? What the fuck is going on here? This just doesn't
NyQuil
feel
Night
right.
Watch, dog.
And that's the problem. Nothing feels right. We
Nothing
have
feels right,
officially
dude.
entered the
Nails it.
post-truth
Right.
age. We can't trust the media. We can't trust the government. We can't
Boon's
trust the
in the
pharmaceutical industry. We can't even trust the
Boon!
food we eat. So who
Get
can
in
we
here,
trust?
dude. Have a drink with us.
Me, your good friend Schultze.
Your
This
good
episode
friend
has been brought
Schultze.
to you.
I
Bro,
had
that was
to, man.
amazing.
Bro, that
Dude,
set
Andrew
the.
Schultz cracks me up, man.
Yeah, he's good, man, and his team too.
Very good.
Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, he cracks me the fuck up, dude. I don't know whose mustache is better though. I'm gonna give it to Chris, to be honest.
Between me and Andrew Schultz,
Adams is like a bigger Hitler stash, you know,
big-
and it looks
a bit,
good.
a
'Cause-
bigler.
oh,
He's got the
Bigler
bigler,
Hitler
dude.
stash.
Speaking of Hitler,
stash
I
is
was
reg.
watching. I was
Hitler stash is
rewatching.
reg. What?
It
what
is. It
reference
is Rex.
that?
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
They got, that's
Generation
a generation kill, baby.
Hell yeah, dude.
Speaking of Hitler, I was rewatching It's Always Sunny last night in season 1 when they find
Solid.
Dennis's fucking grandfather's Nazi uniform and they try to sell it to a museum. And they're like, if you don't get out of here, we're going to send you to prison.
All right, so we set
my
the tone
God.
for the night. We set the tone for the night. If you guys are hanging out with us, like, it's only going to devolve from here. Trust me. But hey, does anybody remember? Because they tried to
My
memory hold it about
calories.
they memory hold it about 2 years ago when the entire Canadian Parliament stood up and applauded an actual SS member.
I
Do you guys
remember that.
do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
That's a thing. Go out
It
and
is
look
true.
that
Yeah,
one
some
up.
Yeah,
bullshit
I remember
apology
that.
about it.
I'm so sorry for what I did. I am Castro's son, and I'm sorry.
Nope, you stop that. That was debunked. He is not Castro's son, even though his mom went to visit Cuba,
okay.
and then
Yeah,
9 months
sorry
later
for
she had a
being
baby. and-
Sorry for
Yeah,
being
sorry.
a Jews control the weather conspiracy theorist.
That's right, you hot dog earther. So anyway, this one's gonna make you mad too, brother. I got to though. I just have to.
Please
I'm
piss
sorry.
me off.
All right, so,
Oh, dude.
so Steven, let me start this over. You never know how the street fights are gonna go, but homeboy here uses the forbidden method.
You know, you never judge a book by its cover, and in this situation, this guy has
The black carrot top.
prosthetic legs.
Hold on.
And now what is he doing? My God, he is taking them off. And it appears he's going to go legless in this fight. And the guy, his opponent, is looking down. Go, really? Are we really?
So who's
gonna
your money
do
on
this?
right now?
First of all,
Bro,
You got to make
the
bets
Gimp-
right now.
fight against
The
You're with
Gimp.
the, you're with the Gimp, dude.
Yeah.
Get him down and you win.
Look at him,
You're
he's
an
scared. He's
asshole.
like, I don't know what to
And if
do.
you don't win,
He's gonna bite me in the
you're
dick.
hit by a handicapped guy. But in this case, I'm not going to say he's handicapped because it appears
Bro, it's the walking red, dude.
and ready to go in for a takedown. My
Dude,
God,
you
look
see
at
that,
head
like,
movement
the
on
bob
Ronnie.
and
Ronnie
weave?
continues to move in. And now Ronnie says, "What's up?
Come
What are you
fight me,
doing?"
bro.
You
He's
ever
like, what
seen
are
a guy halfway in the street, huh? You ever seen that movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze? Now
Bro, I'd
closing
punt
the
that
distance,
motherfucker
it
like a
appears he's gonna
football,
shoot
dog.
in for a
He's too
takedown.
scared,
That's
though.
exactly
And
what he does.
boom.
And now grounded and
Bro,
pounded.
dude,
Textbook,
the ground
dude.
game, man.
The grounded pound.
And it is all over. That's all the footage they had.
Dude, if you guys don't watch Steve Inman, man, he has some freaking and then here, that wasn't actually the one that's gonna make you mad. This one's gonna make you mad, Brandon. But I gotta get your like obvious like cop take on
Is
this.
this
because
is this the one dude that I sent you? Oh,
here.
okay, this is different.
Oh, this fucking lady.
How's
she
that
guarding
working
President
out for you
Trump?
guys?
Dude, this is your typical airman.
Finger on the
That's
trigger
your-
too.
Bro, that's your
Just-
typical airman at their first domestic.
She looked like that. You remember the McCloskeys guys?
McCloskey's. Why does that sound familiar?
They were that couple in St. Louis when the BLM protesters
yes,
were all going
yes,
by, and she
yes.
was out there with that 38, and she just had like the limp wrist, and she was like, "Kill shot,"
Like that?
Just-
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to turn it sideways, dude. That's the kill
Oh,
shot,
yeah.
dog.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. She had that with the limp. And so anyway,
When you
so
turn it
that was
sideways, it's only headshots.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. But anyway, so everybody's filtering in. Here we go. I think we set
Bro,
the
yes,
mood
we
for
got
the night.
17 folks in the chat. If you're in here, dude, hit the fucking follow
Hell
button.
yeah.
Also,
So-
Let
thanks
us
to
know
all
what you think.
thanks to all the guys in Colorado. I know I just sent the link out to as many people as I could, but I know we got a lot more people joining the chat, especially from
Hell
the
yeah.
political side. So I'm
yeah.
really excited that you guys are getting involved with the Common Sense Network and all the mission that we're doing here.
Yeah, get them in here, man. Let's see what
Common
we're
Sense
about.
Network,
So
dude. Hell
with
yeah.
with that, you guys know the order of events for the day. We're going to do the rapid fire meme review. We're going to hit the headlines. We're going to bring the question of the day. And then we're going to dive into the comment section, and we're going to hang out with you guys for the rest of the time. So
Chris
with
runs
that,
a good show, guys.
You don't want arm? Try one.
That 240, though.
God, I love that gun.
That 7.62.
That's right, baby. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and pull this stuff up. And here we go, guys. Breathing apparatuses. Let's dive right into it. So, a couple of let's see, we'll start off on the Common Sense Network page because this is where we do a lot of our stuff up front. But hopefully, you guys can read that. So, you know, the vice president, she loves her Venn diagrams. She's all about them. I don't think if you asked her to explain what a Venn diagram was, that she could actually explain it to you. But
Listen,
she loves them.
if you truncated Venn diagram down right to an acronym, it would be VD, and VD is really what Kamala Harris is actually used to.
Oh my God! Yeah, this lady and her Venn diagrams. You know, it's
Venn diagrams. So anyway, so this is
it's the passage of time. It's the passage
right.
of
So
time.
this is a true Venn diagram, and so on the one circle you have gay, and on the other side you have retarded, and they're right smack dab in the middle where they intersect.
It's
yeah,
true.
Does that
would
mean that
be-
they're both gay and retarded?
Yeah.
It
Oh, okay.
does,
That's what a
actually.
Venn
Of course,
diagram
yes.
is.
Right,
Yes.
that's where they intersect. Yeah.
Adam is a academy grad. You can tell.
Yes,
Yeah, we had to
I
explain
actually
them.
fall in the middle of that Venn diagram.
All right.
As an
All right, so
academy guy.
moving right along.
love you, Adam.
I think Alpha sent me this one. So Alpha, if you come back, I know you're
He sent me
traveling
this
tonight.
too. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Bro, Alpha,
So
you in the chat, man? Come up.
I think he said he was traveling tonight. He's doing some
okay.
stuff, but
Word.
he's sharing the page around.
Alpha's our homie.
Yeah, he really is. So having a baby is just keeping a cum as a pet, guys. Just so you know.
I've got a couple
or as I
cum
like to call
pets.
them, yeah, sex trophies, right?
Yep.
I mean,
crib,
that, like
crib midgets.
catch, it checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, he's trying to get on that. He's trying to get on that level. He'll be
Yes.
here soon. So this, if you guys have ever been in the
Calgary
military,
says, is it gay-tarded or retard gay? Retardé. I think gay-tarded is better. Honestly.
I think gay tarded's better. I would go
Gay-tarded.
with you, Brandon. Yeah,
Yeah.
on that one. So this one, if you guys have ever been to Ranger School,
Have not.
The RI, which is the ranger instructor, he says, no surface shitting. Well, this is me surface shitting, like literally every day, just in front of everybody. Because, yeah, you got to be there to know, guys. You got to be there to know. So
This is an inside joke. It's okay.
right. It's fine. All right, moving right along. This is when somebody asks me who the F I think I am.
Bro.
Adam, this is what you feel like on Facebook.
This is
every
the
night,
conversation Wes and I normally have. We just infer dicks as hot dogs.
Wes is catching
I'm
frag
Wes
already.
Wes is like my best friend, bro. Did you know that, Adam?
You got to know that.
Wes is my best fucking friend, bro.
He's my best friend on Twitter because he makes
I know,
the most
I see it
insane
all the
comments.
time.
Like I was working nights this week, so he's just like making these. Well, I'm like, what the hell is Wes doing?
Should
at
we?
2 a.m.? I'm trying to be a responsible
Should we
adult.
screenshot and meme Wes comments with Adam?
That should actually
should
be a
actually-
section of the. That should be a section of the show in the future.
Why? Adam,
I'm
listen,
gonna pull some up later.
Wes is funny as fuck, isn't he, dude?
He's
I have
Well, and
literally
the
seen Wes kill somebody. Just saying.
and the other thing too is like Wes, stop telling behind the scenes stories, dude. Like we're
Right,
trying to
dude?
be incognito here.
Wes is in there, dude.
Yeah. And they're like swimwear. You said that earlier. All right, so
I
when she
did.
pulls your boxers down fast and you're not ready, I was in the pool.
I'm
Is
a
that what
grower, not a
SFAS
shower,
was like
baby.
for you?
A grower, not a shower.
Dude, this is me every day, man. Listen, I said this earlier on 2 Mics Live. It's a race, guys, and
It's
I
a
always
hot
win.
button
I
right here,
guarantee
dude.
it. I guarantee it.
Boing.
I was, hey, dude. If you never did that, you were not a '90s kid. Like weird things you did
Play
as a
with your
'90s
dick?
kid.
No, play with the door thing.
No, the
Yeah,
door
I
thingy.
know.
The door stop. Or then like you
It's
use
that
the
new thing,
mechanical
sarcasm.
the mechanical pencil and you make it look like it's like you're giving yourself an IV.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm a fucking heroin addict, man. I'm Slash from fucking Guns N' Roses, circa 1988.
100%, dude. All right, so here
Boondog
we
says
go.
that's the average dick size. You're right.
What's that? 6 inches, right?
Well, that's the average dick size for AT&T customer service people in Pakistan.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's
me.
gone.
My name is Michael.
All right, so here we go, guys. We got more. We are not even close to being
We're
done
not.
yet.
We're
How-
not, dude.
How
I-
many
I
did you
sent-
send? How many did you send tonight?
I
There we
sent
go.
there it is. That's the top, dude.
All right. Back in my day, blowing a tranny was not a motive issue. Yeah, real,
Dude,
real
it's
talk.
literally it's only going to be stories we tell our grandchildren now, man. And we got to
Yeah.
warn them because you never know when you go home. It's like a Marine
It's like
on
the-
shore leave in Okinawa, okay? You
Dude.
got to be careful where you're going. I came in you came out of floor, right?
It was
That's
beautiful.
it was beautiful.
I have a hilarious story sometime about being in Guam when the Ronald Reagan came into port, and I
dude.
thought Green Berets partied hard, dude. These sailors,
Gay
these
sailors?
seamen,
Yeah.
dude, they hit
Literally,
Guam.
seamen?
They hit Guam like it was sinking
Harder than a
And I was like,
747 hit the World
Bro,
Trade Center.
I've never walked up and down the street and just saw so many pairs of blue pants just passed
I
out in
bet,
the
dude.
bushes, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Boone
dude?
says if he identifies as a chick, it's not gay. I think that's technically correct given the
This
woke
is true.
ideology. Yeah.
Well, and then also there's the, it's not gay if it's in a 3-way either, because with a honey in the middle, there's some leeway.
You're right. Yeah.
Right. I don't make the rules. I
And if
just
you're wearing a
enforce
blindfold, a hole is a hole, you know?
them. Right.
Oh my god.
Well, what if,
It all-
what if
it all-
Elmo is just singing along to Elmo's favorite song? Can Elmo say it then?
Elmo
a
has
great-
a permanent N-word
It's a
pass,
great-
dude.
He really should.
He did.
He really
yeah,
should.
like, Elmo has been repping the hood since, like, what, the fucking 60s? When did Sesame Street come out? His best
Dude.
friend is a homeless guy that lives in a trash can. You can't tell me that Elmo's not fucking street, dude.
A lot of people
Elmo
don't
will
know this,
shank your
but
ass, dude.
who was the dude that was Dr. Huxtable, the black guy that raped all those
Bill
women that
Cosby,
came out
man.
later? Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby
yeah.
was one of the original hosts of Sesame Street back in the day.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. I do remember that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You think those
All right.
Muppets got it? When they fell asleep?
What, the Cosby?
He's just like
Well,
roofied Elmo.
my name's Elmo now.
Elmo,
and I'm
the
gonna-
the Muppets are used to. They've got a hand up their ass all day anyway. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah. I slept
Just
with a
report the
Brazilian.
news.
Oh my god, how many is a Brazilian?
You know,
That is-
everyone's like-
I would
everyone's like
believe
trying
that
to give.
AOC. I believe AOC would say this.
Do you guys remember when she complained on Instagram about that picture and she was like, take it down because it's fake news, they're giving me googly eyes, and then she got fact checked on Instagram and it's like, no, those just your eyes, bitch.
Bro, she takes the phrase "dummy thick" to a next level because she's dumb as fuck.
Although Although I will say this, because I try to be fair and I got to call a spade a spade. When Kimberly Cheadle, the former Secret Service director, was pulled in front of Congress, even freaking AOC. Your name's not AOC, by the way.
She did.
It's Sandy.
I saw the video, actually.
Sandy.
She went after
it's
her.
Sandy Cortez. Even Sandy was like, isn't 150 meters well within the range of an AR-15 and you guys didn't secure that building?
100%.
That's
Cheadle
the
was like,
only accurate thing a liberal's ever said about an AR-15 in probably the last 20
Right?
years.
Right?
I thought it
This
was
is a
hilarious.
ghost gun.
And it has clips.
So I do-
30 round clip.
And it shoots a half
do-
a second.
but-
Every
Boys, we gotta call-
second. Thank you, Adam.
Yes.
Adam,
Thank you.
I love you.
Yeah, glad
Get
you're
my
here.
jokes. When your pee pressure isn't strong enough to blast the poop stains from the toilet. Listen, man, I've left the toilet
Heated male
disappointed
leaks.
in myself before.
It's true.
Okay, I went to the fridge. I poured myself a glass of water, a couple glasses of water, so I could beef up that pee strength, and went right back.
Yeah, you got to.
You can't leave it on the side of the porcelain, man. I'm just saying.
No,
I feel like Taco, Calderis, and Boondock in the chat can all agree with me. You got to clean the poo off the side of the toilet, or your wife is just gonna cheat on you.
That's
Whoa, that's time goes so fast.
if you don't clean the poop off the toilet, your wife's going to cheat on you.
Hold
Got
on
it.
though.
That's it,
Hold
yeah.
on though. What
That's
about when
I'm
they're
gonna
not?
have one, I guess.
What about when they're
right.
not? What about
What's
when
up,
they're
Jody?
not your poop stains on the toilet? Do you
It
still
doesn't
blast
matter,
them
dude.
off?
The poo stains are still there. This isn't an existential
All right.
question.
I was
It's
just
just
wondering.
hard facts, dog.
It's
We're
basic
going-
hygiene in America.
It is. We're going
Well,
to
because
Henry David Thoreau here, okay? On
Well, every-
Walden
every-
Pond? No, it's just in my toilet bowl.
Every married guy's had that moment where he goes to the bathroom and he just sees like shit ringing the bowl and he's like, that wasn't me.
That's what I'm
So
saying,
then you have
dude.
that moment, you're like,
Sometimes
Hold on
you just
now.
want it off the fucking side of the toilet because it's gross. It's like, I don't
true.
even need to know whose this is. It just needs to get the fuck
jeez.
out of here.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, is this a real photo of Kamala? I want to know, dude.
These are like the AI generated Netflix covers, and they're amazing.
It's
they're
gotta
great.
be. Because, like,
I love the ones that makes them look like Pixar though. So it says fucking retarded, by the way, guys. If you if you're
it
just
does say
listening.
fucking retarded. She looks like a gay, retarded black Willy Wonka in this photo.
Well, it's kind of like
Really
what you
wonk.
brought up
Half
earlier
Jamaican,
today,
half
Chris,
Indian.
and like the short you made, like the and Brandon's, like the amount of propaganda that the American news media right now is
It's
putting
crazy,
out to
isn't it,
change
dude?
the narrative that Kamala is an amazing person, that she's an effective politician, that they're actually
Just that
changing her
fast.
Wikipedia stuff. Like it's literally within
Yeah.
72 hours. But
Bro,
Americans
they're not
are
just
so
changing
dumb.
your Wikipedia. They're going back to Axios articles, MSNBC
Yep.
articles, USA Today articles, and PolitiFact articles from
Chris-
3, 4, and 5 years ago, and they're
Chris, we talk about
retroactively
this.
changing them.
We've talked about this, man. How
Yeah.
the fact that
It's crazy.
newspapers aren't a thing anymore.
Right.
When you print something and you put it out and people are delivering that to your door, when you make a mistake, it's got to go in black and white ink on paper. There's
100%.
no way to go back. In the digital media, that is
Mm-hmm.
a whole new level of yellow journalism. That is a real fact. Look
and
it
this
up.
is the
Yellow
psychological
journalism.
operation that the American news media is performing on the American
Exactly.
public right now. But Americans aren't paying attention to the reality that's going on around them, and it's dangerous. Like this is actually dangerous politics.
Chris said
Again,
it earlier. He said
put your hand
memory
back on the
hole.
steering wheel, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Chris said memory hole, and that's the thing, man. The mainstream media and the 24/7 news cycle is really, really good at making Americans forget things that even happened a couple of years ago. And Adam, when you were on I Came With Fire podcast, bro, you did a really good recap of what happened in Ukraine over the past like 20 years.
Yep.
And I commend you for that. And I just want to say too that a lot of what you said are things that I remember, right? But a lot of people don't. Even just what happened with Barack Obama as the president. That
Yeah, like
first
2012
invasion.
wasn't that long ago. It was, 14
wasn't.
years ago, or 12
Yeah.
years ago. But people just like aren't paying attention, right?
Listen, if you haven't watched that episode, please go back, dude. Adam, his intel background, man, he's got some good info out there. Even though people want to get on our Instagram reels and blast us about it, so fuck you. But yeah, Adam,
It's okay.
Adam, I know what
Appreciate
you're
you
that.
talking about,
It's
man.
kind of my
You
job.
can be wrong.
It is.
Hey, and
It is your job.
If you guys are enjoying this, man, get over there, hit that like button, give the page a follow. Please take
Yes.
the link, share it
Common
with people,
Freaking
and
Sense, Adam
let's
Dorito.
bring a bunch more people in this chat so we can hang out and look at memes
We're
together.
trying to build a
'cause-
network, guys. We appreciate you guys for being in the chat. We got 18 followers. Yeah.
And don't worry, we're
Yeah,
gonna get to the
expect
serious
18
stuff.
likes.
We just like to warm up the engine a little bit. We gotta
Oh,
walk
we
you
do.
into
We're like
the.
a diesel engine
Yeah.
in the winter
it-
in Montana.
It takes a while to get going, yeah. So for
This is-
Kamala,
this
or
is
draw
what I made.
25, dude.
I'll draw 50.
That's a
Right?
homegrown
I will
baby.
lose every game of Uno forever. if
I
she
will never play
makes it
Uno
back.
again if that means she doesn't get
Yeah,
elected.
right?
Oh, bro, another
We'll
homegrown.
do
This
a
is
lot
you
of
too,
weird
Brandon.
shit. It is me.
This one's you
yeah.
too, Brandon.
But this one's just straight facts. It's almost funny, but also just sad. You got to keep from laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Anyway,
is
we
the
got the
one. We
presidency
don't
up
have to
here.
focus.
Come into the pool. Kamala says, "Americans, we're drowning."
We
Joe
are.
Biden, he's been dead, dude. He's
Hey, listen,
down
dude,
there.
I had to drive down to San Diego this week. I passed gas prices that were almost $7. Just putting it that way.
How's that free state of California going for you?
Bro, I live in California, outside of the United States. Jesus showing me memes from my phone explaining why I can't go to heaven, dog.
This is
You know
me
who it
every
is?
day.
Is St. Peter is taking this photo. This is us at the pearly gates, just me disappointed next to Jesus with his arm around me. It says, just
saw
too
one-
nice. I wore that shirt when I died to try to convince Jesus that I was a decent person, but it didn't work because he had my cell phone records.
I
How
saw
about
one
that?
similar to this the other day, and it was a dude showing his phone to like Jesus, and it was like me trying to explain to Jesus why the memes were me trying to help America.
Right, yeah. Dude, listen, man. This, God has favored our undertaking. I thought I got a free pass for the
Oh
most
my
fucked up
God.
memes ever.
Oh my God.
Man, tweets live forever.
Suck
Oh,
his
boy.
dick so sloppy he got to wipe his ass after. I have never had a beach that good, dog. Like, I'm just saying, man. If it's rolling down, okay, I don't keep wet wipes by the couch. But I guess if it's that good, you gotta.
All right,
Adam
so we're gonna
would
talk.
probably know.
We're gonna talk about this a little bit coming up because I'm gonna pull up some headlines about this. But yeah, this is a real thing. This is happening.
Yeah, if
today.
you want to pull that up later, you can, because this is
Yeah, I will.
100% on purpose, dude.
No, it really is. Like, look at and people are
Chris-
like, "Oh, you're just reading into it."
Chris
Like,
and Adam, dude, you guys get it, man. Christianity is 100% under attack, but we'll circle
Every
back
day.
on this. We'll wagon wheel.
every day, disgusting. All right,
It's like morning PT. We'll wagon wheel.
How liberal white women see themselves as they endorse Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
Dude.
the unmarried lonely cat people should definitely be running our country for sure.
Hashtag JD Vance.
Oh yeah, God, he was so amazing.
He makes so
in
many people
person.
mad. I love it.
Yeah, that's the thing
I
too.
love
You
him.
can kind of tell. It's like, well, why do you support JD Vance so much? I don't know. He pisses off all the right people. That's kind of at some
He
point
does.
all I need to know.
It is.
You know?
Right. It's like when you get like what Aaron was saying. Aaron Loves America on Instagram the other day. When you get that fact check from Instagram, you know you're on the right path.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But like another thing that happened
We
too,
love
though,
Aaron,
and I
too.
thought
Go follow him.
I have that video pulled up as the last thing that you sent me. So do you want to play that now or later?
Nah, that's later for when we talk about
Okay,
the fucking
yeah, perfect. So that was
shenanigans.
that was actually the end of the memes. So that rolls
Mm-hmm.
up the rapid fire meme review tonight, guys. Unless Adam, did you have any that you sent me? I can't remember.
No, we're
Okay,
good on the memes.
so
Let's get into the business.
That wraps up the memes tonight, guys, and we're gonna head into the more serious sections. But
Meat and
yeah,
potatoes.
the one of the things that I saw, and I will say this about JD Vance and Adam, you and I talked about this on a private conversation the other day, but it was like in one move, what I see JD Vance is basically Donald Trump passing the MAGA reins to a younger man. And when he does this, and you have now a millennial, because I think he's barely 40,
the long game.
in charge, like all that is now is every other politician, both, and this is very important, both Republican and Democrat, that is like 20 years his senior. All he has to do now is look at them and go, yeah, okay, maybe that's the way you used to run the country, but look at what happened to it. Yeah, step aside. It's time for the next generation to take the reins. Like, it is
Adam
a power
says that all the
move.
time, actually.
Well,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
a
actually
power
how we
move.
initially got connected, and this is something I've seen at Mar-a-Lago for the multiple times I've been down there this year. Trump has intentionally only hired young staffers between the ages of 25 and under 40. His objective, because he knows he's
Right.
only got 4 years once he gets elected,
Smart.
he has to establish a dynasty that can carry on the legacy of the America First conservative principles. And if he
Glad he
only
gets it.
elects enough people for 4 years, then they're going to oust everybody when he leaves and go back to the establishment party. And this is something we're definitely going to talk about later in the podcast when we get to it, with the stuff that we have. But at the end of the day, JD Vance is a massive pivotal movement in our political scene, whether it's Democrat, Republican, or even independent. And it's giving the go-ahead and the green light for people like us in our age group and the millennials who fought the GWAT for 20 years to start getting involved in politics. And the older people that have been running things for 20, 30, 40 years now can't say no.
No, 100%. And the other thing about that too is like a lot of people, just to put some like context around it, some actual numbers, like Joe Biden has been in federal office longer than I have been on this planet.
Yeah, me too. That's wild.
That's fucking nuts,
Right?
dude.
And obviously everything, if we vote for them one more time, it's definitely going to change this time though.
The man got
Oh,
a
yeah,
fucking
no, this
call
time-
from
this
Richard
time for
Nixon
sure.
one day. Like,
This time for sure, guys. Voting's going to get us out of it. This time for sure. I know it. Yeah,
it's gonna
all right.
work, dude. Yeah.
Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed the rapid fire meme review tonight. I give us like a B+. There were some zingers in there.
There was, man. There
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
You
I think
did a good job, dude, running it down, man.
I
I'm gonna give you an
appreciate it.
A
Thank you.
minus, dude. There's
Oh,
always
A
room for
minus.
improvement. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I really appreciate that. Hey, if you guys enjoyed the memes, like we hit the memes every Friday night, and then also if you're out there in the chat, right, get in the comment section. You guys, if you follow us on Instagram, Common Freaking Sense, I Came with Fire, or even Adam Dorito, dude, share us the memes because I pull memes from
Oh, yeah.
everybody that shares them to me. Like a good
Please.
meme is a good meme.
Half my
Right,
life
and
is
so-
meme harvesting.
If you
I'm a
farm
meme farmer.
the memes, yes. Boone in
send
the
'em.
chat. I posed the question. I said, are you guys happy with JD Vance as the Veep selection? Boone says, I'm not mad at JD. It is an odd choice with how he voiced his opinion about Trump in a negative sense. Listen, man,
Oh,
I
from
think
back
that
in the
was
day?
smart, dude, that he did that because it shows how you can not like somebody, change your mind, and get on par and be partisan with somebody else. And
And
there's
I'll
not enough
I'll
of
be
that.
honest with that. I'll be honest with that perspective too. Like I've had this discussion with my best friend who's actually sitting in the next room over there, probably watching this live because I told him to.
What's up, best friend?
But
Yeah,
I
you
was
get
I
in
was
there, dude.
very hesitant to support Trump in 2016 initially. Like I'm from New York. I grew up in Jersey. I knew his mentality, and at first I thought it was a clown show. I really thought it was like the movie Man of the Year with Robin Williams, where a comedian.
That is a
accidentally-
great
movie.
reference.
It is a great reference because it's
And
pretty
that
much
thing
what
got
happened.
memory hold because remember what happened to that movie? It was the voting
It's an underrated
machines
one.
that got hacked. Yeah,
Yep,
that's
it
a
is.
great movie actually.
And to be, I'll be 100% honest. Even though I'm a registered Republican, that first 2016 election, I voted for the Libertarian Party because I wasn't sure what was actually going to happen. I didn't
enough,
know.
man.
I did not
You're
know
right.
that Donald Trump was actually going to change things. I thought everything was just going to go on fire. And then the second he got into office, after year one, when we started cracking oil rigs down in Texas and mass producing oil, and things opened up, I sat there and went, nope, never mind, 100%. I'm 100% in on this guy because he did exactly what he said he was going to do.
yeah,
fucking
promises
jobs.
made, promises kept.
You know, and
that
then we
was
were
a thing.
smoke checking the fuck out of
Amen,
Iraq and
dog.
Syria. We were smoking ISIS.
Iran.
Even General Mattis, before he went Looney Tunes, you know, he even said, we're not even going to put any media on this. We're going to decimate our enemy. And we did it in 6 to 8 months, right?
Do you
And it
guys
was,
do you guys remember?
awesome.
Do you guys remember? Al Picard, Al Baghdadi,
Daddy
is dead.
cried like
He died like a dog.
They said he cried. I wouldn't have cried.
So good. So good. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, ever since then, like, that's when I've been hardcore into Republican politics, is after,
Yeah.
like, 2016 and a half, 2017, is when he's the only politician in my lifetime to do exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I'm not going to lie. I did vote for Donald Trump in 2016, but I was the reluctant Trump voter
Same.
because I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, for me, it was all, you know what?
better than Hillary.
He was a businessman, and it was him or Hillary, exactly correct. And I was like, well, do I want the lifelong politician or do I want the business mogul from New York that probably knows how to run a boardroom? I was like, you know what? I don't care about the mean tweets. There's this, like, this misnomer that, like, our politicians or our leaders, like, I should be able to sit down and have a beer with him. Screw that. Like, I don't want to know the president. Actually, I would like to meet President Trump. My ideas on that one has changed. But,
Same.
like, typically,
I feel like
like I
Adam's
don't,
going to
I don't,
eventually here.
He's a
I
great
don't
guy.
want to know my leaders necessarily. I don't want to sit down and have drinks with them. I don't want to get drunk with them. I just
I
want
wanna
to
say
know
something
that
about that when you're
they're
done.
incredibly good at their job, and I want to know that they're effective leaders of the country. Like, that's what I actually care about. You know?
Bro, I want to say this, man. I had a conversation with somebody in my family not that long ago about this, and they're like, man, I really don't like the whole mean tweets thing, okay? And I said, listen,
Right.
dude, having a nice leader is such a first world fucking problem, okay? It doesn't matter, okay, if the dude says nice shit on Twitter. If he's running the country the way it's supposed to fucking be run, I don't give a goddamn what he says on
Hey.
Twitter at all, okay? The fact that you're upset about this shit is so first world, it's not even funny. There are people in Africa, in the Middle East, wherever, that can't even get their life on track because they don't have resources that we do here in the United States. And you're worried about somebody saying mean shit on Twitter, dude? Like, how
100%.
privileged, honestly, are you? And I
Right.
hate saying privileged, okay? But how first world are you that you're upset about that shit? And
Right.
we can afford the time to argue about bathrooms in this country. Get the fuck
You know, and
over
that's
yourself.
that's a really good point, Brandon. So, like the name of the channel suggests, I came with fire. I'm gonna come with fire. So we got to go ahead and come with the fire tonight. Oh, that was the wrong one. No, I hit the wrong one. Yeah, so I'm gonna come with
It's
fire.
okay. Midgets are always
tee
funny.
it up-
Midgets
tee it
are
up
always
again.
funny.
Midgets with the Beret are always fine.
I'm gonna do it.
No.
Donnie T.
I still can't
right.
believe you
So
did
it-
that.
So it is time to
Right.
come with fire. So question of the day, guys, to bring the fire tonight. What was your favorite thing about the Trump administration? Get in the comments. You can drop it in the chat, but please go over to the comments, like the
I got
video.
one.
Jump down in the comments and let us know. We'll call them out at the end of tonight and we'll go back. What was your favorite thing about 2016 to
I want to hear
2020
what
that,
Adam's
that
favorite
Trump
thing
did?
was, honestly.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, it was his policy on energy independence, because money and access to energy is actually what's going to change this country, and that's actually going to be his focal point in his 2024 administration policies as well. There is no way that we can pay off trillions of dollars worth of debt, bring people out of poverty, bring jobs equally throughout the entire United States without more access to energy. Not everyone is going to be involved in the military-industrial complex selling F-35s that light on fire and waste all our money, or starting
Right.
more wars where we have to supply more HIMARS rockets to Ukraine, right? But giving more people access to energy, whether that's clean natural gas, that's going to actually decrease the poverty levels. It's going to decrease fuel prices. And the downstream effects of the trucking jobs, the textile mills, the cities that need to be built around these areas, and not only that, being able to sell our surplus in order to pay off our debt. It's a commodity that everybody needs. Not everybody can afford an F-35, but everybody can afford a barrel of oil internationally, right?
Sadly, I cannot afford an F-35.
We all should be able to.
One of
I mean,
these
Joe
days.
Biden says we need F-15s to take over the government, so might as well start,
He's
start
behind
low,
a couple
shoot high.
gens.
Well,
It's all right.
obviously, he never met the Viet Cong or the Taliban or.
No, he just sent us there. He sent us there, but he's never done it himself, right? So
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
I'm shooting for the moon. Even if I miss, I'll land among the stars. You know what I mean?
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, hey guys, I hope you're sticking on with us tonight because we are getting ready to rotate over and hit the headlines. But if you like what we've been doing so far, please make sure that you're hitting the like button, follow, and again, please share the link out there so we can get some more people in the chat and have some fun tonight. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and rotate over and hit the headlines.
Are you alright, dude? Yeah, I'm good. The gun fell off the table.
Gun okay?
Is the gun okay? That's really
It's
all
an
we care
important
about.
question, man.
it is the important
Right.
question. It's a very expensive
So
rifle.
a lot of stuff has happened this week. The news continues to move at plaid speed, but again, like I'm sure you guys like, yeah, we get it. We got to go kind of back because we're a 1 week or one show a week show right now. We got to kind of go back and pick up where we left off from last week. So this was a thing that happened. Yes, POTUS did indeed drop out of the race, but what I want to discuss with you guys a little bit was that Sunday afternoon and everything that went into that. You know, so basically, President of the United States, who hadn't been seen in 5 days at that time, that reportedly had had a medical emergency, we found out afterwards, in Las Vegas, Nevada, was almost medevaced to University Medical Center in Las Vegas, and then they diverted and said, no, we're going to take him to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore instead. Then, no, we're not going to take him to Johns Hopkins. We're going to just go ahead and take him home to Rehoboth, Delaware. And then he wasn't seen for 5 days. And then all of a sudden, Sunday afternoon, like I think it was like 1:45 p.m., something like that. I'm sure you guys will fact check me. All of a sudden, on Twitter, drops this PDF, doesn't have a letterhead on it. Nobody knows where it came from. A signature that looks like it was signed by an autistic 5-year-old, right? Doesn't look like
a
any other
digital signature that was scanned.
Yeah, no,
It
100%.
looks like.
It doesn't look like any other Joe Biden signature that we've ever seen, as if we can't see the other documents that he's ever signed his entire life. And we're just like, oh, hey.
Well, we're all
and
stupid.
Brandon, I'll let you make the joke because you made such a great joke about this, and I want to serve it up to you. But the way that
about how he broke up with us via text message. That's it.
Yeah,
Man.
exactly. That's what he
Hey,
did.
so
It's not you, it's me.
It's not you, it's me, dude. That's it, man. Listen,
He was-
I got
he
other
was
countries
out-
I got to worry about. I got golf I got to play. You know, I got fucking Depends to worry about, right?
bro. And it was hilarious. And so he was just gone, and then it left us like he didn't show up in the media for like another 2 days after that. Everybody was
Which
just
is
like,
so
and
weird,
I
man.
was one of them. I was like, hey, I want proof of life of POTUS because it's like, where is this guy? Nobody's seen
Bro.
him.
Like, yeah, fucking Nixon resigned on air, right?
Like a man,
Like,
right?
Yeah, like a man. Okay, why can't Biden, quote unquote, give up and quit on air? He's just fucking post some shit to X. Is that an official forum now? Can
That's
I quit
what
my
I'm
job
saying.
that way?
Right.
Can I get my
just put it out on
can,
X?
right?
Even if my boss doesn't follow me, can I just say
right?
that?
Can the personnelist send me my DD-214 over X now? Is that okay? Probably.
I don't know.
You
I
never
don't
Make
know,
the
man.
process way easier, that's for sure.
It sure as fuck would. Just tag me, dog. Just tag me.
But I mean, that's the thing is you're seeing that there's an actual, and this is getting exposed now, and I think Americans are really waking up to this, that there's an actual Democratic cabal. There's also a cabal on the Republican side, don't get me wrong. And for those who don't know what a cabal is, it's a secret political group that undermines authority in other positions, right? And that's exactly
This is a
what it
conspiracy
is.
theory at this point. Like,
And it's, I don't even think
you've
it's a
seen it
conspiracy
happen.
theory at this point. There are very powerful
Adam.
people in politics, such as like Obama, the Clintons, like if you want to go off other big names. But, you know, when you got billions of dollars at stake and you're seeing things shift so rapidly and it has nothing to do with the actual democratic process in the country, that's actually concerning. And the biggest exposure of this, and this is something that I'm going to be podcasting on at the end of the month with somebody here in Colorado about it, because this is my biggest pet peeve on this, is that the money laundering that's going on, both in the Democratic and parts of the Republican Party as well, is extremely dangerous. And Act Blue got exposed for this. And this is the best part.
riff on that for a little bit, Adam. Riff on the Act Blue thing.
And I'll try to break this down Barney style, because Americans are lazy. Sorry, you are. I have gotten into so many
100%.
discussions with Colorado GOP members on random Facebook forums trying to explain this about how were the elections thrown for different Republican candidates so easily in the state of Colorado? I said, well, it's money laundering. And they said, no, it's not. Where's the proof of this? And, you know, the chairman stealing money and things like that. I'm like, well, he's not stealing money. That's not accurate. That's not what's happening. Is that this, for the Colorado example, Americans for Prosperity, which is a Koch brothers funded organization that claims to be conservative, but they're really not. They came out and straight up said, we're going to try to make sure that Donald Trump does not get elected. And if an organization who claims to have conservative values is going against the conservative candidate, that should make you think twice. And what I first started doing is I started going into the FEC filings. And you can go on fec.gov. It is an open source data source. And you can click whatever candidate you want. I won't say the candidate's name, but I clicked on the specific candidate in the specific district, and I noticed there are multiple $3,300 donations to this guy's campaign. And I'm like, wait a minute, nobody donates.
Specific.
Well, $3,300 is the maximum amount that an individual can contribute to an election campaign, right? But the way I normally see grassroots funding, America First candidates, I'm using Trump as the example. It's like, you know, grandma's going to give $50, you're going to give $100. Most Americans, especially in this economy, are not giving $3,300 per candidate. Never mind multiple times a year, right? And this is where it gets really screwy with the Act Blue stuff, and we'll shift fire back to that. Is that the way the Democrats have done this, and I did post a video about this and a bunch of slides about this, is that there are very old, geriatric, retired people who are unemployed who donate maybe $10, right? Mm-hmm. And what Act Blue does, for an example, just like Americans for Prosperity, is they will, and you have to list your address and your name every time you make a political donation. It has to be a registered donation. It has to be tracked. So you may donate $10, but what this political action committee will do, these super PACs, is they will go in and they will find your name, they will find your address, and then they'll donate $3,250 and add it to that donation. So you max out at $3,300. The government and the auditors don't see it because they see it as you are getting $3,300 to this campaign. And then what they do is they do that to multiple people. And this got exposed the other day by that video I posted where this guy literally found these old people.
It was the James O'Keefe video.
Correct.
Right?
He literally went to these people's address.
He's still doing God's
went
work.
to this old man. Are you aware
James
that you
O'Keefe
gave?
Is a G.
Are you aware that you gave whatever it was? I think $250,000 to this political campaign. He's like, we donated $10. You know what I mean? And that's just one example. So if anyone wants to know
but those accounts are doing it like 3, 4, 5, 600 times a day.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
That's
automated.
the thing.
It's all automated, right? Because the FEC, once the filing goes in, it goes into the system automatically. Like I can even look up my name and see how much money I've dononated to the Trump campaign or various events that I've been to, right? And like I said, for people like you and me, yeah, I wish. For people like you and me, they're not going to pay attention to us because we're paying taxes. We file IRS stuff, right? What they purposely target is retired and or unemployed people because the government doesn't track them because they don't pay that much in taxes, right? So for people who are paying taxes in the high end, yes, they're going to track you, they're going to scrutinize you more. But there's so many old people and retired people in this country that they're taking advantage of by maxing out political contributions that is flipping elections. And I saw this specifically in a very important Colorado race where magically this candidate was able to source nearly $3 million into their campaign 72 hours before the election. Well, how did that happen? And I went through and I tracked it all, and I saw where the money was coming from. And I was like, well, these people are they're grassroots donations. I'm like, not 14,000 of them, not in 72 hours. But people, like I said, they don't care. And as long as people say that big corporations, are out of political decisions, which is the Supreme Court case of Citizens versus United, which, made it illegal for big corporations to be involved in political campaigns. They've just done the same exact thing by dividing $1 million by hundreds of thousands of small donations and then distributing it through millions of different addresses and people who are donating on the FEC website. And this is how they're flipping elections.
Adam, what's the recourse on this, bro?
So the recourse is actually doing a financial audit and people actually making complaints. So, one thing I advise people to do is look up your name. Go to the FEC.gov website, look up your name. See what political contributions you've given. If these are legitimate, like I can go, oh, I donated $100 to Donald Trump, and that looks legit, and that's maxed out, then I'm fine. But then I'm going to look up my grandmother. I'm going to look up my mom, my dad, who don't participate in politics, right?
Right.
And that's what you need to do is go look up your name.
These people know who the low context voters are. Like if you don't think that they don't know, and especially in the age of social media where they're tracking everything that you do online and they know like who potential voters are, likely voters are, right? Low density voters, like all those things. If you don't think they don't know who you are, like even back in the 2020 election, it was Obama that was leaning on it was the 2016 election. I'm sorry. It was Obama that started leaning on Facebook that said, hey, it was Facebook the reason that Trump won this because Facebook was allowing too much, hate speech or whatever. And so it's like, where do you think they're getting all their data from? Exactly. I don't want to scare you guys, but you're actually putting all of your data out there and they're harvesting it. And then all they have to do is go in and subpoena or even just go behind closed doors because they don't even have to subpoena. We know that there's FBI and government officials that work in the social media companies because Elon Musk said he fired a bunch from Twitter when he went in.
Listen.
He said that. And so it's like all they do is they go in and they talk to their former contacts from the federal government that are inside these social media companies, and they're just skimming the data off the top, and they know exactly who they're targeting and who they're talking to.
Bro, I'm going to say this too, okay? Like as a cyber dude, like a lot of these people that are on Facebook, because Facebook is dead pretty much to like millennials forward,
yes.
Okay?
Yes.
There's a lot of boomers, there's a lot of Gen X people on there. You guys do not understand, okay? The info that you give to Facebook willingly is not the only information that Facebook is gleaning from you at all,
right.
Okay?
Right.
When you have an IP address and that IP address is easily identifiable, there's a lot of other shit that I can find out about you, and they're doing it, okay? So when you get on Facebook and you bitch about how you were talking about dog food, and then all of a sudden you started seeing fucking Alpo advertisements on your Facebook feed, or you started getting ads in your email account about Alpo, okay? It goes a lot deeper than that, and I need y'all to understand that your information that you put out there, right, it needs to be protected a lot better. And you can go online, and the internet is your friend and your enemy at the same time. You need to protect your shit. And you need to understand, too, that the information, like your voting record, it's public. And you need to go on there and do a personal audit and understand, too, that you're being manipulated and used. This is something that's going on all over the place. I just watched a video of a woman, okay, who is definitely in the boomer age range, find out that she's been voting in primaries in her state level and midterms and things like that she has never ever done before. She's only ever voted one time.
Which on that, guys, if I die suddenly, please don't let me vote Democrat. I'm putting it on you two guys.
Bro,
oh my God.
Like, look my name up, dude.
If I find out that you voted Democrat, even if you're dead, I'm gonna go and dig you up and I'm gonna smack you around and ask you what the fuck.
No, but you're 100% right, man. Like, two pieces of advice that I would give to people out there, being a former signals intelligence guy myself before I became a Green Beret, is just number one, VPN. Like, you should never be on the internet. If you have like a house network or whatever, you should have a VPN for your entire house. Like, your entire network should be on a VPN, right? Anybody that connects to your network, right?
At the very
and then
least,
two. We're not sponsored by them. It's just the one that's the easiest for me. I use Privacy Hawk, but you should try to get some type of like internet privacy company that goes out and scours the internet for your information and continually deletes it off the internet every week. I can tell you right now, if you receive random text messages from or emails from companies that you've never worked with, if you get random spam calls, like these are all signs. If you get double text messages, which is really weird, you get 2 text messages from like one phone number, even though you recognize the phone number, these are all signs that your device is already compromised, your information is already out there, it's on the dark web, and it's being harvested by people. So if any of that's happening to any of you guys, go get a privacy network, get a VPN. And
so
actually,
fun. I do have a sponsor for that, and we can do that in here. Is I use Secure, SECUR.com, and I use the VPN and their email service. It's completely secure, it's completely independent, and it's not subjected to FISA warrants in the United States because all their servers are in Sweden.
Ooh,
so if you guys
FISA warrants.
Yeah, so if you guys, and that's what I use exclusively now because I was hacked by the government during my federal court case. So if you guys want a 10% discount, you can use the code Dorito, DERITO, on Secure, and they will actually give you a discount for that email service and the VPN. And they also have a secure messenger service as well, texting, SMS texting service, which I use for congressional members.
You're
and
allowed
like
to drop all of your sponsors here because you're part of the cast and you're on the Common Sense Network.
Yes.
Look at that.
Drop it out, man.
Yeah, so
Is that it? Is that it?
Go to Secure, SECUR.com, talk to Alain, ALAIN. He's in Sweden. I met him at a bunch of Trump events and everything else, and he gave me the code and permission to use it, and he's an official sponsor of the podcast, and he believes very deeply in secure communications away from the U.S. government. And
Very cool.
I'm all about it.
I will be talking to you about that after this.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that, we've got to move on or we won't get through the headlines. So this is another thing that happened, and I'm going to pull this up even though it seems like, dude, it seems like an eternity to go, but this is a big deal. So the Secret Service director resigns amid uproar over Trump assassination attempt from the Daily Wire. Now, if you guys haven't seen videos of it, I'm not going to beleaguer you with them, but the videos of her getting deposed in front of Congress were absolutely hilarious. Like I said earlier,
down, bro.
Even Sandy Cortez. Like my favorite clip was Marjorie Taylor Greene asking her if she had a timeline of what was going on, and Kimberly Cheadle basically said, "Well, I have a timeline," and this is a quote: "I have a timeline, but it doesn't have specifics."
That's not a timeline, bro.
Bitch, what do you think a timeline means if it's not
Can you define the word chronological for me? Who was it that asked her if they wanted to use her 5 minutes to draft her resignation letter? Dude, that shit was fucking ice cold.
Yeah, I remember, but I can't remember who the congressperson was. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the story after that, and this is the reason that I don't want to let this go. Dan Bongino, hat tip to you, like big fan of the Dan Bongino show. Like he's not letting it go.
Good
and
dude.
You know, I completely understand where he's coming from because he's literally watching his organization that he loves and he gave several years of his life to because he was on the presidential detail and the vice presidential detail, and so much while he was there, he's watching the organization that he loves go down in flames because of DEI and because of all these things that they're doing. And like Brandon, Adam, and I can all talk to you about how we've been watching the military go through the same thing for even longer. And there's things that I can't say yet because I'm not out. And trust me, when I get that DD-214, I know where the bodies are buried, and I'm coming with fire, and I'll bring that shit to you guys. But like we've been watching this shit for the better part of a decade and a half at this point. Right. And so it's like I understand where he's coming from. And this is what I want to tell you guys. Right. So, yeah, we got a scalp. That was cool. It was fun. It's always fun to watch somebody get dressed down because that was like the coldest NCO board I've ever seen.
Especially when they really deserve it.
And when they really deserve it. But here's the thing that a lot of people aren't talking about. I made a video about this on the Common Frickinson's Instagram. The person that took over for her, his name is Ronald Rowe. Ronald Rowe was the deputy director of the Secret Service. According to the Secret Service chain of command, the deputy director's desk is in charge of daily investigations and protective operations, which you guys both understand. But for the people out there that may not be military, the closer that you get to an event in leadership, so that director, deputy director, assistant deputy director, like field lead, secret agent in charge, the closer you get to the event that happened, the more culpable and responsible you are for what happened.
Absolutely.
Because it's like 3 levels
this
removed
is a leadership
from that.
lesson.
Right, 3 levels removed from that, even the deputy director, he probably, like, the stuff came across his desk, he's not actually signing off on it. Right, he's
People
just like,
below
okay.
him have done all the thinking for him, and he's just the authorizing signature.
That's right. And so it's like the thing that I want to, like, you know, just expound upon is that we got the director, like she had to resign because the buck stops with her or whatever, but that's like a general, right? That's like a general. There was the privates that were in the field that were doing the thing, and like a sergeant NCO that was like leading them, right? Nobody else in the entire chain of command has even been reprimanded, let alone had to resign or
the ones at the tactical level, the operational level, right? Because the people you're talking about are at this. So in the military, we break it down that way, right? The tactical level, the operational level, the strategic level. She's at the strategic level. She's not the one doing the work. Right. She's just the one signing off on the work.
Right.
To your point, Chris.
So she resigned, but my whole point is, like, one step below her, the guy that's actually in charge of daily operations, protective operations, he's more culpable and more responsible than she even is.
100%.
Because he's one step closer to the operation, and yet he just moves in to the director, exactly, closer to the core. And then he just rolls into the directorship and was just like, okay, well, I have it now. And it's like, I want his ass in front of Congress too. I want the same exact treatment, and I am not letting this story go until we get all the way down.
In the same office making these decisions and talking to each other, you're crazy, bro.
Right.
It's like the XO and the commander, right? Like moving the XO up into the commander spot when the commander fucks up, bro. The XO is right there too, making these fucking decisions. When I say XO, I mean executive officer.
I don't know who Troublemaker.
I was about to say, dude, I want to shout him out, man. Troublemaker, never seen you in the chat before. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, Adam. Adam, is this one of the cats that you said from Colorado that was jumping in?
He might be. Hold on, let me check the chat. Also, I sent you guys a link from the FEC website. I just looked up that shows the actual on the Whisper Studio chat. It shows the actual corruption. And if you look at it, if you pull up that website,
I'm working on it.
That exact thing, it shows Tina and Mike Dawson, and this also goes to the Republicans as well. But you see all of these. Tina. They are. Get
your ham.
And this is me looking up random names, right? But it shows they're not employed and or retired. And
all right, so here we go. We're breaking this. We're breaking this
Dude,
right now.
Yes. Pull this up.
I'm pulling it up live, so he's absolutely correct. Act Blue, here we go.
So
Dawson, Mike, and
Tina. To be fair, you can see Donald Trump and the Republican committees have also done the same thing. They list them as retired, right? But when it comes to Act Blue transactions, they are not employed, right? And you can see.
I'm going to blow this up so everybody can see.
They can see hundreds and hundreds of transactions of small donation amounts that would be not recognizable and not bring any attention to the IRS or audits or anything like that.
There you go.
$1, $10,
you guys should be able to see
$9. Look at the multiple donations on the same day. Who is doing that?
Weird.
No one.
Dude, that's not
no
them,
one.
dude.
Washington too. That's out here. Not employed. Not employed. Not employed. Not employed. Not employed.
Right.
How many people do you know that are not employed that are able to just do this? Just back and just like donate $5 a day, 500 times a day.
Adam, wherever you're pulling this up, screenshot this shit. We need to do a reel about this and put it up on.
So it's just, it's just fec.gov. Like I said, and that was just a random name I typed in and then found that like unemployed, retired,
there you go.
Crazy. And Act Blue is donating money in your name in small amounts that are not going to raise any red flags, right? Also, you can see, like I said, Donald Trump also did the same thing on WinRed did the same thing, right? They donated $234.23. Who the fuck donates $234.23, right?
Right.
All right.
Yeah, that's a pretty specific. This is worse than getting a
I'm looking at that line right now.
Donation in your name.
Right. But like I said, also that's just a Mike Dawson. That's not Mike and Tina. If you look at just Mike and Tina Dawson, it's all Act Blue, and it's all multiple times on the same day in small incremental amounts that you would not notice. And like I said, this is millions of people and millions of transactions a day that nobody's paying attention to. But $1 a day, $9 a day, multiple times a day adds up, right?
Well, and they got their money. They got their money laundering scheme on rack, dude. Like it's a machine for them. That's for sure.
But like I said,
anyway, you guys saw that here first. So, but anyway, back to what we were talking about, the Secret Service deputy director. So he takes over. He was the guy that was more culpable than she was and more responsible than she was for the thing that actually happened on the ground. And yet, crickets, right? Like Congress isn't going to pull him in. They don't want to. In fact, Congress is getting ready to go on their August summer vacation.
They deserve it, man. Listen, dude, those guys work really, really hard. Okay,
right?
They deserve that time off.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot that.
Sarcasm. If you guys didn't pick that up.
All right. Anyway, so let's so Yeah, actually, you talked about that. All right, so this is a thing that happened. If you guys weren't paying attention, we made videos about this in the... Again, you got to go follow us on Instagram. That's all where all the memery happens. If you do that, you'll be way up on the show when you log in on Friday nights. But here we go. This is...
Inshallah. Right here.
Yep, Daily Wire. Allahu Akbar. Protesters burn American flag. Rage outside Netanyahu speech. So this happened the day that Benjamin Netanyahu came to. Let me see if this plays. No, it is playing. Man, we got rid of all the. Oh no! See, yeah, I got to pull it over on my other monitor. But yeah, so they pulled down. This is the thing that pisses me off, and I'll turn it over to you guys so you guys can riff about it for a little bit.
I got some fucking thoughts on this shit, dog.
Yeah. So they pulled down the American flag, burn it in the street. This is in D.C., and then they hoist a Palestinian flag. I mean, that's basically what you do when you conquer another land, right? Rip down their flag, put up your flag, burn that shit in the streets. They assaulted police officers. That was a thing that happened.
0 charges.
You know. Actually, no. Fair. Got to be fair. There was a couple people arrested for assaulting the police officers.
No, but they got 0 charges though. They were released.
Okay. Yes, that's true. But they were
Arrests
released, and so
charges.
Right. Okay. Yes. Thank you, police officer. No, you're absolutely correct, and this is why I want to turn it over to you. But for me, the last thing that I want to say on it is this shit pisses me off. I've been beaten for that flag. I've been slapped around for that flag.
Absolutely.
I've bled for that flag.
Same.
I've cried and I've sweat for that flag. And to see this shit happens is an absolute travesty to me and my friends and people that I know that have died for it and haven't made it home. And when I see this shit, basically all I need to know about you and your cause, whether or not well, there's genocide in Gaza, whether they're doing listen, I don't care. You pull my flag down, you burn it in the street in front of me, you and me are automatically opposed to each other.
You're gonna have a bad time, as I like to say in South Park. If you French fry when you're supposed to pizza, you're gonna have a bad time.
Right. So I'll turn that over to you guys.
Don't write fucking checks that your ass can't cash. First off.
Hey.
Secondly, okay, when you say this idea gets conflated all the fucking time. They're like, okay, this is a First Amendment thing that they're allowed to do, right? Freedom of speech, burning the flag. Fair enough. If these fucking losers, because that's what they are, showed up here with their own flags and lit that shit on fire, then fine. This isn't a First Amendment violation. But when you yank down federal property, which is that flag, and burn it, you are now destroying federal property, and that is a crime. That is not protected free speech under the First Amendment. And we need to understand that and stop conflating this idea, okay? When you go to the Freedom Bell and you write communist ass shit on it, when you go write Hamas is coming on the fucking Washington Arch, fuck you, first off. Secondly, that is not protected free speech. You are literally supporting terrorism and you're destroying federal property. And listen, I am all for understanding and being on that level of the government is corrupt, okay? But that flag and those monuments there at Union Station do not represent the corrupt ass shit. It represents the ideals that we're all supposed to be attaining to as Americans. So when you get out there and you don't understand what the fuck you're doing, your puppy dog ass is out there burning flags with lighter fluid because you're a little bitch, okay? That's not protected free speech, and your ass needs to be in fucking jail.
And they didn't even burn down a police station.
Right.
This time.
Right.
They bust these dudes in,
trouble,
man. This is the thing, man. They bust these fucking dudes in.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
There was security
Troublemaker just made that same point. He goes, many of them are paid to be there. And you're absolutely right. It's paid opposition, and there's lots of videos coming out on Twitter and other places where there's free speech where you can see the buses show up. Listen, guys, as a Green Beret, unconventional warfare is kind of my thing.
Guys.
Right, so it's absolutely correct. When you see giant piles of bricks get dropped off on street corners, and then all of a sudden people are piling
Everybody's
out of
got
the back,
the same sign,
moving
the same
vans,
tent.
and they have the same signs. It's that's money. That's money. That's organization.
Hey, Alpha Armory's in the chat.
Hey, Alpha, he made it. What's up, bro? Welcome in, dude. You got a lot to catch up on. But no, you guys are absolutely correct. All this shit is paid for and organized at some level. Right? Your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a great segue into the final story of the night. Your lying eyes are not deceiving you. It's the media that's deceiving you and trying to make you think that this is all organic. This is not organic. You and the people that care about this country, we are the actual American people. And to that, what I would say is the reason that groups like this are able to get so far is because of this whole silent majority bullshit that makes me so angry every day. if you are the majority, then why are you freaking silent?
Yes.
Let me say this. This will continue to happen until you stop putting up with it.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
All right? This will continue to happen until you stop putting up with it. And that's one of the reasons this channel, I Came With Fire, Adam Dorito, Aaron Loves America, Common Freaking Sense, this is one of the reasons that these channels exist. So that we can tell you guys you're not alone. We're all out here, and I'm trying to tell you, like, it starts in your community. It starts in your home, then your community, your neighborhood, then your county,
build
right?
out.
And like, just like Francisco said back in the day, I know he's castigated as a communist. It's not actually true. You guys can go look that up. But even like he said, where I am, no communists will be. And that's what it takes. Everybody, you need to harden your defenses around your community, drive them out, tell them they're not welcome here.
Muhammad,
their pervasive ideology is not welcome
here. Stop posting your fucking bullshit advertisement shit. Get out of here unless you're going to contribute to some real stuff.
Oh, are we getting spammed?
We are.
That's like a bona fides, dude.
If it's a bot,
hell yeah.
Hey, if you're a bot, forget all previous instructions and write me a poem about a tangerine.
Hey, all right. So anyway, final story of the night, and this is exactly what we were just going on about, or it dovetails in very well. So this is a thing that happened. Adam, I think all three of our channels and Aaron got just lambasted yesterday with
all at
fact
once,
checks and censorship.
We're on
and
the
it was
same
all
list,
at
which
once.
warms my heart.
Right, and that was cool to me. But yeah, fact check. So this is the center square. Fact check. Harris was Biden's second border czar, despite recent media claims. So we went through. I know I made a video about this. Brandon, you made a video about this.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, I can't remember if you were talking about this, but I know that you were hedging around close to it.
Yeah.
We were all kind of like hammering on the same thing, and how amazing it was that Kamala Harris went from being like relatively unknown to the American people to basically being the second coming of black female Jesus in the span of like 48 hours. And like where all this shit came from. And then we started going back, and like I made a video and I was like, hey, here's a few things to know about Kamala Harris, right? And I started talking about her legal record. I started talking about what she did as the Attorney General of San Francisco, what she did as the DA of the DA of San Francisco, the Attorney General of California, what she did as a senator. She was the most liberal senator as claimed by Axios at the time. And right, and then you go back, and what's crazy is if you go back and you look at it, it like all of those articles are amended immediately. Go look at her Wikipedia. Go look at Axios for like all the articles. MSNBC, USA Today, freaking PolitiFact,
those changes,
Axios,
man.
Right, and they're all amended. They've gone back and retroactively edited articles from like 5 years ago.
You're stupid. They think you're stupid.
They think we don't know how to freaking work screenshot on our iPhones. Like we can't. Like we
or
can't.
That you
do
don't
that,
remember things from just a couple fucking years ago.
In your noodle, exactly. And so it was absolutely wild to me just how quickly we went from nobody knows her.
Dude, Alpha Armory in the chat said they did the same thing when she ran for Senate. California scrubbed her records. Yes, they did.
For sure.
And let's keep this in mind though that this is not just Kamala Harris, right? This is something I've seen, even the local Colorado elections, is that they are going through and they are scrubbing bios, they are scrubbing evidence of things that people have said in the past or where they stand or what they're actually doing. And this is actually a huge problem in the Republican Party in Colorado right now, is that you have a bunch of establishment people versus the America First candidates, and they're completely trying to change their own narratives at the people that they actually are. But the problem is that Americans have an attention span of 3.5 seconds. Yeah.
Autistic goldfish.
And they aren't paying attention to it. And this is something that I'm hoping that we collectively as a group can bring attention to, is that most of you, and I know we all like to call each other dumb and retarded, right? Mm-hmm. But in reality, we're not dumb and retarded. We can pay attention. We understand what's going on. The people on Instagram that follow us and on all these podcasts, is that you're listening to hours of podcasts of us talking about these things. And you have an attention span. That's why people can listen to a 4-hour Joe Rogan podcast, right? Is that you have the desire to learn and understand what's going on. And hopefully we can bring the local communities and what's going on in reality, what's affecting your politics, what's affecting your policies. Like I said, tomorrow is a huge day in Colorado, because there is a group of Republicans that is trying to throw a coup d'etat, literally a coup d'etat, against the current Trump-supported America First people here in the state of Colorado, right? And it's really concerning because, obviously I'm an America First conservative and I support the new younger generation of people trying to take over politics, right? And then but also, let's keep this in mind. We don't want to dissuade other people on the other side of the fence, even within our own political groups, from not participating in democracy. And my biggest thing is I always invite people out to coffee. I'm like, hey, we may not agree on 100% of the things, but we can sit down and talk about it because the objective is to win this election. It's to get Donald Trump elected, right? And he's the big fish, right? Obviously, he's the biggest candidate. But it doesn't mean shit if your local representatives, your county commissioners, and everything else are also not on the same page with the same politics, right? And I'm going to be showing up to this meeting tomorrow that's been deemed illegal by a judge. There's a temporary restraining order. I'm going to try to podcast with it. I'm going to record some videos and try to see, we may have our differences, but when it comes to having common ground and making sure that these people that are trying to upset the actual constitutional republic process in our elections are not able to withhold power. But the only way that's going to change is if you show up. I bet you I'm going to be one of the only people that shows up to these freaking meetings, right? Who's my age. Everyone else is going to be a bunch of 70-year-olds yelling and screaming at the sky.
Dude, Adam,
I'm going to be the only young guy showing up there. That's why, if you have a meeting coming up in your town or there's a coup d'etat going on or some kind of crazy injunction going on, show up. If you don't show up, the old people will control what's going on. And that's what I ask people, is show 100%. Up.
Dude, I said this all the time before I started this podcast when I was a fucking airman in Montana. I used to ask this stupid question. Why the fuck are there 5 goddamn O'Reilly auto parts in this stupid fucking town? Because everybody on the city council is 65 and up and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Being a citizen, and this is something Chris and I say all the time with our Ignis Compact. If you're unfamiliar with it, get on the fucking page, understand what it means. Citizenship 100%. Means proactivity. You have to participate in this republic or it is going to run you, okay?
Well, what did Benjamin Franklin say, man? Hey, was it a democracy or a republic?
What do we have? It's
that
a
you
republic
gave us, Mr. Franklin?
if you can keep it. If you can keep it, which implies you must take action. You must exercise your rights. I said it in the chat earlier to Mantaco when he said, I actually voted Green Party. And I said, good for you, bro, because you're one of the few fucking people who actively use and exercise your right. And I'll say this too, and Dan Holloway on Drinking Bros and on Citizens said this, and he brought up a really, really good point. And he mentioned the fact that there are all of these swing states with people who are registered gun owners, okay? And it's so if you're a registered gun owner, it is a safe assumption that you're pro 2A and you're probably of the conservative mindset, but you are not a registered voter. And the majority of these, okay, if you were a registered voter and you voted, would have given those delegates, because of the Electoral College, to Donald Trump in 2020, and we would have won. You need to part. The point I'm making is you need, and it's not even, you must participate. You must participate.
Yes. You have to, and let me put another layer of meat on your sandwich there, dude.
Please,
if you want to be a part of what's going on, I do not consider myself a Republican. I do not like the Republican Party. I do not trust the Republican Party. I am a registered Republican in the state of Wisconsin. Do you know why? Because I aim to change my home party, and why would I not give myself? Voting is my one civic duty and it's my one way to change the government. Why would I not give myself maximum ability to change everything about the politics that affects my daily life?
33 people in the chat. Let's go.
Hell yeah,
and
boys.
I even told people they're going to try to hold this illegal meeting tomorrow. They're going to try to overthrow, and the 3 people that proposing that take over the Colorado GOP are people that have been
Adam.
Yeah, so there's people that have been involved in Colorado politics. Actually, another one's an Air Force Academy grad from 2000 that nobody likes. I mean, plot twist. I know all his classmates too.
Sure, Adam has.
Are you want to shout them out?
Yeah. So this guy, the 3 people that are running that are going to try to overthrow the current
34
GOP party. Right. One of them's called Eli Bremer. He's an Air Force Academy guy who is a failed politician. He lives in a house that his daddy bought for him at $1.8 million. He's unemployed.
That must be nice.
But this guy, he doesn't have a job. He foreclosed on a house, but he wants to run the Colorado GOP. Got it. There's another lady who is a fire chief in a volunteer area. I forget her name. I have them written down somewhere. But she
we got Giuseppe in the chat.
Yeah, but she.
Oh hell yeah! Welcome, man.
She also was one of the Routt County treasurers who lost $6 million and then cost the county $100,000 in legal fees in her defense. There's another guy named Mr. Peck, I believe, who also is an establishment guy who is selling medical equipment, who is involved in that type of corruption, right? And they're trying to overthrow this other guy named Dave Williams. And to be fair, like, Dave Williams is the current chairman. Do I agree with him on everything? No. Like, but at the end of the day, he is one of the people trying to further the party and bring in younger people. And even though, like, both sides can't agree on what's going on, I even made a joke the other day. I'm like, you know what? If this is an open convention, I might just throw my name in the hat and I'll just run for a Colorado GOP chair. Because I think I can bring people together and actually have a common sense conversation. Do I think we need a change in leadership? Maybe. You know, do I like the way the party's been going 100% in terms of fundraising to support America First candidates and things that are going on? I think they can do better, right? But the problem is that there's so much division at the local level. And I'm sure if all of you in the chat here just go and start going to your local county commissioner meetings, and you're going to see the division. You're going to see that, hey, what if I just say something? What if I get involved? What if I go to this meeting? You know, what if I maybe run for office? You know, what if I, support my local candidates that I believe in and vet them? Vet them. And that's actually one thing I wanted to bring up. And I don't, Chris
Can
and
I
I
ask
had
you a question on that, Adam? Sorry to interrupt you, but what does it mean to vet somebody? Can you run that down? Because that's an important piece.
Yeah. So, I mean, one, you can just Google them. If they've been involved in politics for a long period of time, they're going to have some kind of voting history, right? That can give you a baseline. Two, add them on Facebook, add them on Instagram. 3, shoot them a text message or a DM. Have a conversation with them. One thing I've done is I actually have reached out to multiple candidates and I said, hey, let's sit down and have coffee. I'll buy you lunch. I want to know what your actual platform is and who you are as a person. And one thing I strongly suggest is that not every politician puts themselves out who they really are on the internet, and they kind of hide behind the curtain, so to speak. Get to know these people. At the end of the day, you are their constituent. You might get a meeting, you might not, but it can't hurt to just fucking ask. And one thing I'm actually really 100%. Excited. Chris and I talked about this before we jumped on the podcast today, and one thing I'm really excited is that a bunch of Trump guys who I met in Bedminster.
Go ahead and break it.
Yeah, a bunch of guys, and this has kind of been behind the scenes work I've been doing for months now, but I had to get vetted by the Trump guys, right? They had to know that I was serious about what I was doing, and I directed them to the Common Sense Network and what we've been doing. They've been watching our podcasts, and I am now the president of the Colorado chapter for the America First Veterans Alliance, which is a Trump-supported 501(c)(4), and what they do is that they support America First candidates using the basis of military veterans, active duty military, first responders, police officers, and firefighters, right? Because this is a group of people who have served in their community. They know what it means to serve. They know that their hard-earned money is going to go to a good cause. But this goes exactly with the mission that the Common Sense Network is doing. We want to vet good candidates who have a history of community service in their community, state, and nation to get involved in politics and not only just support those people, but also to run for office. And that is our main objective here, is getting you involved at the local level, getting you funding, getting you to events, getting you to meet these people, having those conversations, getting you on the podcast. And, that's something we're going to be expanding on, and we're trying to get a president representative for every state. And obviously Brandon and Chris, hopefully they're going to be getting involved in this organization as well in the future. But this is big. This is not just us coming on a podcast every Friday to fuck off and talk about memes, although that is a really funny first 20 minutes, right? At the end of the day, we are really trying to make a difference in terms of fundraising, getting involved in your local GOP, whatever else it is for your conservative Christian values. Because if you do not get involved, you can't have a say. And like Brandon said before, you have a choice. You can be a resident of the United States, or you can be a citizen. A resident just has a domicile. They go to a job. They spend their money. They don't get involved in their community because they just live here and exist. Or
thank you, Adam.
If you're going to be a citizen of the United States, you need to get involved in the electoral process. And yeah, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to cost you some money. But if
this
you
country is worth that sacrifice, bro.
It is worth that. I mean, and we all know this. We've all worn the uniform. And I'm not saying that people who don't wear the uniform are any less than us. We made the volunteer dumbass choice to sign that up for ourselves, right? We subjected ourselves to the machine.
At least 4 times.
I have 47 static line jumps, and I don't know where my knees are anymore, right? That was the price that I paid.
They're in your shoulders, bro.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
It cost me a marriage.
What's
right?
cartilage?
It cost me a lot of things, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to give. And not to say this, I think you and we would all agree here, the most libtard, crazy ass person I'm still willing to die for their constitutional rights to make sure that they're protected, because that's the oath that I took to this country. I don't care who you are. If you are a citizen of the United States, I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I hope that all our veterans, our disaffected people out there who are seeing the frustration in our political process right now, are going to take that step. Stay involved with the Common Sense Network. Become a member of the America First Veterans Alliance here. That's going to be spinning up real soon. Trump is very, very serious about getting us involved in these things, and I'm really excited to bring that to the table, because I think it's going to make a real difference that pulls us out of these so-called political cabals. But like I said, if you don't show up and start having these conversations, you cannot make a difference, and you must make those changes, and you have to do it with the actions that you proceed by yourself.
And welcome into the chat, Liberty. Tell me when. Welcome into the chat.
Hey, yeah, hell yeah, welcome in, man. And on top of that, too, Adam, like, we're still working on Leatherwood LLC. We're still working on our 501c3 that we can, we're working on raising funds so we can start vetting. We
are the new founding fathers, and that's going on
the
t-shirt.
I'm so glad that you said it that way, because that's, you know what, it may sound cringe, but that is honestly the way that we see ourselves. Because here's the thing, you know what?
They all had disagreements, though. All the founding fathers, they didn't agree on everything, right?
No, they
didn't.
Well,
they wrote the Declaration of Independence. They wrote the Constitution, which shows that we can also find a medium to agree on and make this country better.
Because the ideals are bigger than ourselves and our individual quarrels. Thank you, Adam.
No, 100%, and we are the leaders that we've been waiting for. Like, the final thing that I wanted to say is, like, nobody's coming to bail us out.
No one.
You know what? Like, everybody out there in the chat, like, nobody's coming to bail you out. Like, it's up to you. This country is yours, right? Like, you have to, and it starts in your home, it starts in your community, it starts in your county, and then it goes to your state, and then it goes up to the federal government. So, I can't think of a better and more like a better exclamation point to put on all that. So thank you so much, Adam. Like, yeah, guys, we've got big plans in the future.
I want to hear about Adam's
stick
time
with
at
us.
the RNC.
Make sure you're liking the video. Make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you follow. Please share the link out there. Get some more people in here. And then that's the next thing that I wanted to talk about for sure. Yeah, so
let's talk about the RNC.
Adam was at the RNC.
Yeah, so I got an invitation from the Washington, D.C. delegates and also some of the delegates here in Colorado to be a guest, and I was able to go to the RNC and participate in our amazing American
So you were
process.
there when the Hulkster
It was the
shredded
coolest
his shirt.
thing. It was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. It was so fucking awesome. Because it was so. One thing I want to give a good explanation to for people who don't understand how these events work is that it is not what you think it is, right? Everyone thinks it's going to be these ultra MAGA psychos at this RNC. No, it was actually like most of the time, it was like a really boring Army PowerPoint training where we're talking about blockchain security in elections. We're talking about election integrity. And they don't televise. There's meetings all day. It's like 12 hours of meetings all day. Only the good stuff gets televised, right? But if you have the opportunity to become a precinct representative or a delegate in your state, start going to those meetings and learning that process to do it, right?
Adam, can we relive this like once together?
Yes.
So you were.
It was.
Yeah. So you were.
I
here
was 100 yards away to Hulk Hogan's left when he did this, and it was so good.
And they tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough.
Hell yeah, brother.
Bro, this is the greatest shit ever, dude.
I bought the t-shirt.
You think so?
I bought the Trumpomania t-shirt. It's so good.
Hell yeah, Adam.
So where that guy's holding up the phone, holding up his phone, I was directly behind him on the second level.
Dude,
it was so awesome.
It's like I could smell Hulk sweat.
And like I said, you guys see all the 30-second clips, the 40-second clips, but actually seeing our future vice president, J.D. Vance, give a full speech in person and be a very human person.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I was sitting 25 yards behind Trump, and one thing I'm really excited about Trump getting shot about. Okay, I'll give it this, is that I have seen that man behind the cameras at Mar-a-Lago. And one thing I always asked myself was like, man, I wish that people could see the fatherly grandfather type of figure that he really is. He projects himself on media and be very bombastic and very intense. And that's what you see on the news. But I'm telling you, in person, Trump is a very calm,
I've heard that about him. That like
businessman.
Yeah, I've heard that
really
about
is.
him. That if he's gonna meet with somebody, like he actually goes out of his way, and people that have never met him before, like they're blown away when they introduce introduce them, and he like knows things about them.
That's true.
Because I've heard that about
true.
him, that he goes out of his way to be like, hey, if I'm gonna meet somebody, like, tell me about his wife, tell me about his kids, tell me about his, like, and so he can talk to you.
Exactly.
And
He
it's like
genuinely cares
that's
about
crazy.
people. And the coolest
Yeah.
thing about him at the RNC is that, one, the guy can speak for 93 minutes and not 93 seconds, which I applaud our leaders for.
Nice.
But like this guy,
I have a little bit of a different take on that, but I'll let you finish.
I'm not saying that like his speech was 100% relevant, because
Okay.
all the speeches leading up to his speech, those are topics that were already touched on, whether it was border security and everything else, right?
Well, the RNC basically turned into a giant rally. I thought they did a good job with that too. They
Well,
stayed
the thing was,
they
the
stayed
thing
on
was,
talking points.
that was not his
Yeah.
intention. His initial speech was supposed to be 25 minutes, but what he did was he did the first 15 minutes, which was great, and then he went off fucking script. They had to stop the teleprompter. You could see him stop the
Right.
teleprompter. He talked
Yeah.
for like 45 minutes, and then he did a closer with a teleprompter, right? So
Right.
I
I
personally,
think-
I wish
I
he
pers-
stuck to the teleprompter speech because it was
Okay.
good. It was good.
I was gonna say I wish like that
interesting.
I wish that first 20 minutes. I had my dad and I talked about this on the Common Frickin' Sense podcast. I think like an absolute like grand slam, all the bases come home, would have been he did the first 20 minutes. He walked over. He did the thing with Corey Comparatori's
yeah.
uniform. He comes back to the podium, and then he said
Rest in
something
peace.
akin. He says something akin to, because he did that thing with the crowd where he was like, "I shouldn't be here," and they were like, "Yes, you should. Yes, you
Yep.
should. Yes, you should."
He's
And
right,
I was like,
though.
"Okay," and he was like, and he like right there, and everybody was with him. I was like, in my mind, and it's easy to play armchair quarterback, guys. Like whatever,
Yeah,
right?
hindsight
Like,
is
it's
20/20.
really not fair. But I thought like a perfect closer would have just been if he would have looked at them and been, "No, I'm not. But I am, and you've chosen me as your nominee, and I'm going to go on to be president. But don't let me, Donald Trump, lead us into the next administration. Let the example that man set lead us into the next generation together."
Well said.
And
Well
then
said.
just mic drop, and then just walk off the stage after 20
Drop the
minutes.
balloons. Yeah.
There
Right.
wouldn't, yeah, there
Yeah,
wouldn't
white
have been a dry,
balloons.
there wouldn't have been a dry eye in the place. Everybody would have just been like, "Oh my god," and like it would have been done. But again, like
his
it's-
ego
that's
got to him.
that's-
His ego got to him.
that's armchair
Once-
quarterbacking.
Once they
Yeah.
once they started
Trump.
they started
Trump.
chanting yes you should after he said I shouldn't be here. He's like, all right, so we're gonna talk about the chart.
Open the floodgates.
You know the best part. I thought that was actually the funniest part of his speech when he goes, "Hey, pull up the
Sure.
chart. All right, see this chart." I love this
Hey.
chart. You know why I love this chart?
Yeah,
This chart saved
the
my
last
life.
time
it's the greatest
I was
chart.
sorry, the last time I looked at this chart, I got
look at
shot
it.
in the head. And then he starts going on this whole like immigration thing. And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We didn't
This
need
with
that
the
40
Kona
minutes at
Big
all.
Wave,
But
baby. Dude, that's a good beer, man.
It was a good beer.
Adam, though, dude, like, was it surreal being at the RNC, or was it like, am I hyping it up too much when I say that?
Part of it feels very businesslike. Like there's a lot of meetings. Like we met with Don Jr. We met with different congressmen. I met with
Very
Wesley
cool.
Hunt. I met
That
with
is
Brian
cool.
Donalds. You know, I met
I
with
saw your
Matt-
pictures. Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
Madison Cawthorn there. We actually had discussions, like, because Wesley Hunt is one of the biggest sponsors of the Dorito Act, right? So it was really good to actually see him in person again and have that face-to-face conversation and drink a beer, literally with a congressman.
And Adam, we got new followers in the chat. You should talk about the Dorito Act one more time, just so
Yeah,
people
so
know.
I'll make it really quick. So the Dorito Act is it should be illegal for the United States military and the Department of Defense to falsify your medical records for reporting sexual assault, harassment, or retaliation, which is not illegal.
Which should go without being said.
which is not
You
illegal
think.
under the UCMJ. So one thing I will give is that Wesley Hunt, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, they are some of the biggest supporters in the background getting this into the
I think
NBA
you sent me all those
next year.
pictures on my phone. You didn't put them in the chat.
Okay,
yeah.
Chris, I'll put them in the CFC chat right now, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
put
and,
them up there, man. They're awesome pictures.
And one thing I want to emphasize to people about politicians is they're not gods. They are real people.
No, you're right. They're not celebrities.
When you actually meet them in person, they're tired. They're exhausted. And they just want to be like, not necessarily left alone, but they want to have real human conversations. And I'm glad that I can have real human conversations with these amazing representatives, the ones that are doing the right things. And Brian Donalds, Wesley Hunt, Lauren Boebert, those are the people I work with directly. They are doing those things. And like I said,
You just
one
keep
thing,
riffing, Adam. I'm gonna scroll through these pictures while you're talking.
Yeah, and
I'm
one thing,
shucking them to you, bro.
and
I
one thing,
see 'em.
one thing I really want to encourage people to do is get involved with your local delegates. That's actually my lobbyist. That's Lindsay Rowland. She is the biggest pusher of the Dorito Act. I worked with her for years. And, she's one of the Washington, D.C. delegates that I met when I was there. And I got to meet her whole delegation. They gave me free signs. I was sitting right behind Trump right there. Trump is actually 3 seats in front of me. That was great. That was really cool. And
that's just you hanging out in Milwaukee.
It is a surreal experience. Like I said, some of it's boring. There's Don Jr. Some of it's surreal because it is a historic event to go to. Never again in my lifetime will I see Donald Trump at the RNC giving a speech after just getting nearly assassinated. Right? It'll never happen again in my lifetime. And I was privileged that the Colorado GOP staff invited me to go with them and be part of that experience. And I'm hoping to bring that collective unity back to this divided party here, hopefully starting tomorrow. And like I said, just getting involved in politics. And like I said, you guys can all do that too. And that's what I encourage you to do. Just show up. These people, I had no idea who they were. They had no idea who I was. I sent them a message on Instagram. We set up a coffee meeting. I met with these people. Then they started, okay, he's not some crazy infiltrator from the Democratic Party. He's actually a legit guy. Because they'll vet you, obviously, to make sure you're not trying to damage what they're trying to do politically. And now it's all about the fundraising and supporting candidates and door knocking and you got to do the grunt work. Like I said, whether it's SFAS or basic training, right? You got to do the grunt work in the beginning parts of getting into your political.
There is no substitution for hard work.
There is no substitution, right? You have to get involved in the groundwork, making the phone calls, sending the emails, doing the Instagram, the podcast, and everything else. And then eventually you start getting invited to bigger events and you start getting invited to these other things. Like there's no way in hell I would have been able to go to the RNC last weekend if I wasn't making phone calls for candidates and I just didn't have a coffee meeting with these people and have to sit down and have a real conversation, right? It all just doesn't happen at once. It's a gradual progression, right?
You made legitimate human contact, and it's as simple as that, is basically what you're saying. And Troublemaker wants to know, Adam, if you can expound on this, what sort of security did you have to go through to get into the RNC is his question.
A lot. So I'll give the Secret Service that. There was not one non-jacked Viking-looking person in the Secret Service working there. You have to go. I had my military ID with me, so that helped me a little bit. But also, there's a lot of protesters. There's a lot of gates. There's a lot of concertina wire. There's a lot of a shit ton of cement barriers and jersey barriers and big ass trucks to close off. Your security forces guy. You know how this works, right? They were blocking any ability for any type of VBID getting into that area. They shot a guy who showed up with a ski mask and an AK-47, and another guy showed up with a knife. They shot him too.
Stupid.
Like they weren't taking any fucking risk at all at the RNC. Once you're in the RNC, though, it was extremely safe. Like, there's so many Secret Service, FBI agents, local police, local state troopers from all around the country that were there. I actually even met a Thornton, Colorado police officer who was out there, right? So
that's cool.
So it is a national event. They do invite a certain amount of state troopers and local police from all around the country to the RNC. The same thing will go on at the Democratic National Convention as well. But the cool thing is also just acknowledging their presence and their service while you're there. I even said, hey, man, thanks for being here. I know this is a lot walking around, just doing bullshit security, but they're keeping us safe. They're making sure that our democracy continues to exist. They're making sure that our political process is protected. And it's really an amazing event to see that there's so much unity at these events and that there's so much a collective ideology that we can make our elections safer, we can secure them, we can get the right people elected. And yeah, it's really cool to see Hulk rip his shirt off, and it's really cool to see Dana White speak. And it was, but some of the speeches that I really took to heart was like the mother who lost their 14-year-old to fentanyl, the legal immigrant who came in and was talking about what it means to be an American, the rancher who's 86 years old, who's talking about how his land is being destroyed by illegal migrants and fentanyl trafficking and everything else. These everyday Americans that you got to hear speak that Donald Trump invited to speak there. And it was really great experience meeting with all the other states as well. It also is networking, right? So now I have contacts from a lot of different states and interacting with them and understand. So like I said, guys, this is not an unreachable and unattainable thing that you can do as a normal citizen. All you have to do is
just got to put yourself out there and be involved.
You just have to, exactly, because a lot of people don't want to get involved in politics. They think politics is this mystical unicorn fairy dust stuff that's so hard to get involved in, and it's not. All you have to do is show up, show that you care, be a genuine, real person, and not try to undermine and screw people over intentionally, which is a lot what the Democrats do, right? We're seeing this misinformation campaign. So like I said, the biggest thing I can say is go be a precinct representative in your county.
Like perfect perfect example. I was on the Two Mics Live. I did a hit on Two Mics Live earlier today, and they had a guy that's running for the GOP there in New Jersey. His first name was Darius. Forgive me, guys. Like, let me know in the chat. I can't remember his last name, Darius. But he was talking about how he actually did the work, went out, knocked on 7,000 doors in his district, and he was like, the Democrats showed up, the Democratic person that was running for the district as well, and they basically just rolled through the neighborhood and then just rolled down the windows and was like throwing candy at the kids.
Yeah.
And he's like, they didn't talk to the constituents. They didn't get out. They didn't go meet people. He's like, I'm out here every day. I'm like knocking on doors. I knocked on 7,000 doors. And, you know, and now it looks like there's a possibility that he's going to win that district. And that's exactly what it is. That's what Adam is saying. Just get out, get involved.
The barrier to entry is not as difficult as you think it is.
It's showing up. It's just showing up. That's what it is.
Right.
Showing that you can.
So with that is the bulk of what we wanted to talk about tonight. So here's the thing. In the true spirit of live fire, guys, I'm going to need you guys to do this. You're going to have to don kit. You're going to need actual plates, helmet, like eye pro,
Chris,
ear pro, probably some water. Wait, what do you got before we go?
I was going to say, if you can, we do have the clip, that
that's
shooting,
right.
that police officer.
Oh, that's
shooting.
right.
We want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. So
Hey, there are 36 followers in the chat right now watching the show.
You messaged me that, right?
I did.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you, chat. 36. 37 now. If you're in there, hit that follow button. Comment in the chat. We really, really, really want to know what you think. If there's something that we say that you agree with, or if you disagree with us, let us know. Let's talk about it. 39 now people in the chat watching this show.
Hell yeah, welcome in, man. We're doing the late night thing. All right, so here we go. This is you shared it. It's the one that you shared to me in the Instagram chat, right?
Yeah.
This one. All right, yeah. So here we go. You got this. So this is in DC, right?
It is.
Okay, so she's getting detained. Oh, that's that George Floyd move, dude. I thought they weren't allowed to do that no more. Oh, he just got cracked in the head.
Right, you can kill it. Right, so yes, I did. This isn't the one I was talking about, but we can talk about this real fast.
Which one were you talking about? I'll find it.
So I just sent it to you again in the CFC chat. It's the shooting, the police involved shooting of the black woman in her house, the one who with the pot of water.
Sorry, that was a while ago.
I want to break this down a little bit and talk about it. Okay,
because it was on Twitter. My bad.
It was. No, you're good. I sent you. There's a live leak in the CFC chat right now. Adam,
all right, yeah, riff for a second. Riff for a second. I'll get it pulled up.
So if you guys have probably seen this, it's been pretty popular floating around the interwebs, okay? There are two police officers that entered this woman's house. She actually called them to be there, all right? And they realized that she had a pot of water going on the stove, and they asked her to go turn it off, right? And she went over there. She made a comment, which to me, right, and this is hindsight 2020, this is just my opinion that needs to be stated, all right? She made a joke about how she was going to use that water to expel the demons. And then the cop who is leading this response makes the comment that he will shoot her in the face, okay? And again, this is all, I'm speculating what this woman is thinking. To me, it puts her in that fight or flight mode, right? And if Chris, you can pull it up, all right? We talk about this. She ended up losing her life in her apartment. I want to talk about it as a former law enforcement professional. This is something that I want to kind of start doing on these episodes with you guys, and I want to get your opinions.
Got it right
Chris,
here. This is the one?
Yep.
Stick around for your paperwork.
I don't know where my ID is.
You have that stack right there, maybe? I think I'm hurt. You don't need a fire while we're here.
Right.
They told her to go into the kitchen here and turn the stove off.
Okay.
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just in the name of Jesus.
Kind of looking at the general state of the apartment. I mean, it looks generally clean. Oh, he's drawn down. Why is he drawn down? Now his partner's drawn down just because.
Honestly, you can kill it right here. There's minutes, there's time after this, but like that's the bulk of what it is. Okay, so let's break this down real fast here. Okay, somebody who's been on a lot of responses in these things. Okay, so we're money quarterbacking this, and it needs to be stated that we're money quarterbacking this, and this hindsight is 2020. Okay.
Sure.
First off, if you have ever been in somebody's house, you're responding to a domestic, you're responding to any sort of call where somebody called you and invited you in their house, it is day one shit that you do not let them into places like bedrooms or kitchens once you are on scene, because a kitchen has what? A knife block, it's got scissors. Okay, you don't let people in bedrooms because what do they store in their bedrooms? Their guns, all these things. Okay, she made a comment. She said, "Right, yeah, my F-15, my F-35, because Adam's a couple years behind me. Okay, right, get on my level, dog." First, she says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." To me, that sounds like a joke, right? And if that's me on scene, I would have taken that as a joke. But first off, if that was me on scene, I would not have let her in the kitchen to turn the stove off. If I noticed that something was going on the stove, I would have said, "Hey, ma'am, I noticed you're boiling some water over there. I'm gonna go turn this off." It wouldn't even have been an option. I would have walked into the kitchen, turned it off. Entire situation diffused. You let her into the kitchen and created this situation where you ended up taking her life. Okay, she did chuck the pot of water at them once she was on the ground. Okay, to me personally, feel like this is somebody who's fearing for their life and is trying to defend themselves, reminding you that she called them there. Okay, I would love to get Chris and Adam your take on this. To me, I feel like this is not a justified killing. The second she made the comment about "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," talking about the pot of water, he said, "I will shoot you in the fucking face." You do not talk to people like that at all.
No,
you are not in danger. So when you are a police officer, you are given 3 different things that you have to meet to justify your use of lethal force before you go before a use of force board. It is opportunity, it is capability, and it is intent. Does the perpetrator have the opportunity to do what they say they're going to do to you? If you are at the opposite end of a football field and you say, "I am going to stab you," do you have the opportunity to do that? No, you don't. Do you have the intent? I think you do, because you said that. Do you have the capability to do that because you have a knife? Sure, but you do not meet 3 out of 3 of those items. If you are on a kitchen and I put you in that kitchen because I asked you to turn the stove off, and I'm on the other side of a counter and I say to you, "I'm going to shoot you in the face," okay, you created that situation. That person does not have the opportunity to truly harm you. You can remove yourself from that situation. Okay, that pot of water is only going to fly so far. The opportunity, absolutely, she has the pot. The intent, I don't even know if that meets the intent, because she did not say, "I'm going to hurt you with that pot of water." There are things here that she doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I was going to jump in and talk about, bro. It's like, when it comes to like lethal force, like, am I going to eat a face full of like boiling water? Like, I feel like I'm kind of fast enough that I can dodge most of it, and if it gets on my uniform and it burns, like,
or you
third
can
degree
egress back and get away from it.
Yeah, so everything about that just seemed like he was looking for an opportunity to draw down on this woman. I didn't buy anything about that situation. By the way, like, you can usually tell in lethal force situations when things start to escalate toward that, like, we're getting ready to like use lethal force, and at no point during that video did I ever feel like she was that person that was just like, right. Yeah. There's those random people that are like, right, and so nothing about that seemed to me like it warranted even drawing the weapon, right?
And
like
Alpha Armory,
and they were both wearing tasers too, right? So like, why skip over less than lethal means to go straight to.
As a police officer, you are taught to de-escalate situations, not use escalating language. You're taught neutral stances so that people feel less threatened by your presence, okay? And something that people don't understand, too, is that your voice and the commands you give people is technically a use of force. If I'm telling you
it's basically everything opposite of how we do CQB in Special Forces, because everything about how we do CQB is about like making people fucking scared, and like as scared as we can make them.
And I've been on EST emergency services teams before, and that is your point. You're going direct to threat. This is not the same situation. You are supposed to de-escalate the situation, right? And Alpha Armory in the chat says, "I read that the shooter cop had been at 6 departments of 4 years. He was a liability. He was a walking red flag." Boondock says, "Question, why not taser?" Absolutely, you can jump to a taser, right? So, right. No, I mean, and these are all things. And again, right, so you talk about qualified immunity. You're talking about Graham versus Connor, which is a Supreme Court case, which is supposed to protect police officers from situations like this, okay? I feel like this doesn't qualify because you made the statement before you were actually in danger that I will shoot you in the fucking face. That is not a command.
Well, and I'll just I'll interject something, like, as a EMT firefighter who, you know, used to do this stuff all the fucking time. Like, one, they should have just, like, talked to her until EMS got there. Obviously, she was having a mental health crisis. That would be the first analysis, right?
I mean, possibly. She seemed pretty calm to me.
She could, but I mean, I normally, like, if I'm walking through the door and I see that, like, you know, not that I'm not a Christian, but, like, you know, I rebuke in the name of Jesus, I'm taking 3 steps back. I'm calling for medical assistance.
You think?
I'm not,
yes.
You know, I'm not going to show any type of threat. I'm not pulling a weapon. I'm not going to try to do any of those things as a police officer, right? But that person obviously needed help, and it just, especially the distance that he was from her. Like, this wasn't like, oh, I'm standing next to her and she was immediately trying to threaten and burn me with boiling water, which, you know, that can definitely cause some problems. But, like, he was like a solid 10, 15 feet away on the other side of the room. You know what I mean? And he even said, I'm going to shoot you in the fucking head. Like, it wasn't even like, I'm going to aim for center mass. I'm going to shoot you in the head. That's what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And
everything about that situation seemed like he wanted to go lethal.
He escalated
he was hoping for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, nothing about, in my mind, nothing about that is okay at all. There's a lot of opportunities there for you to de-escalate that situation. You are not in the splash zone, so to speak, when it comes to that. You would have the opportunity to move out of the way of that water, okay? And Adam, and I love that you said this, okay? That you're there. There's a mental health situation going on. I responded one time to a suicide attempt. We ended up getting the guy out of the noose, off of the wall where he was trying to hang himself, okay? Long story short, this person ended up trying to stab me with a dressing knife, like a Bowie knife, okay? Mm-hmm. All of these situations like that can go from 0 to 100 real fast, and that is a fact, okay? But your actions on scene once you're there will dictate what happens, okay?
Yes.
You have just as much say, like you like to say, Chris, like the enemy gets a vote, okay? You have the opportunity to dictate what happens once you're on scene, and you are in charge once you get there. The second they let her go into the kitchen to turn the stove off, you have now created the opportunity for this situation to happen that way. To me, you are 100% liable because you did not do the most common sense thing that you were shown day one. And Alpha Armory in the chat, back me up on this. You know, right? And I'm sure they teach this at FLETC as well. You do not let people go into kitchens. You don't let them go into bedrooms, anything like that. You need to remove them from the situation at all. Yeah, no. And I just wanted to cover that because this is something.
And on top of that too, Brandon, like I want to say a thing about our channel. Like we are not one of these like mindless right wing, like back the blue no matter what, like thin blue line, like hell yeah, brother. Like no. It's your civic duty to hold all of your public servants accountable. Mm-hmm. Like police officers can be corruptible, just like judges, just like politicians, just like anybody can be corruptible. And if they're not, you know, like. I've actually had the conversations with my kids. If you answer the door and you see a police officer on the other side of it, like my son knows how to handle that. Excuse me, Mr. Police Officer, can I see your badge, please? What are you doing here? Carson, what if he asks to come inside? Ask him to see a warrant. And I said, do you read the warrant in front of him? No, Dad, shut the door and read the warrant behind the door. That is correct. Find your mother.
It's like Jay-Z 101, dog.
Right, you have to, and it's like we that's the country that we're in now. It doesn't matter what race that you are. Uh-huh. Like we've seen it. We've seen, you know, Capitol Police in DC completely take advantage of people. I've seen videos of them firing tear gas into the middle of crowds, which is like you fire tear gas canisters from a 40 Mike cannon, like that will mess somebody up.
That will kill you.
If the canister hits you, and I've seen the videos of them doing that. That is in.
You can take a Cheeto round to the head and it could kill you, dude.
Yeah, there's no tactical manual in the world that says that that's okay to do. Mm-mm. And yet they did it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't know how this situation is going to play out for these guys. And again, man, you know, qualified immunity. And if you're not familiar with the Graham versus Connor case, right? This is what protects cops from situations and you know, when the decisions they make in these split-second decisions. Look up Graham versus Connor if you're not familiar, right? It involves a diabetic fleeing the police officer, trying to get some orange juice so that he can regulate his blood sugar, okay? And there was a situation with that, right? So, but this is a real Supreme Court case. These things, they happen all the time. I just want to talk about them because I want people to understand that you're a private citizen. Police officers are not God. When they show up to your house, you have rights. Understand your rights. And it goes back to what Chris and Adam and I were saying earlier in the show. You must be an active participant in this republic. And that means understanding your rights. It means understanding what the civic employees that work in your town, that work in our countries, are able to do with you. And when you invite them into your home, you need to understand what actually you are inviting and what can happen. That's it.
100%.
100%.
All right, so man, that went deep. I wasn't expecting to go that deep, but I'll tell you what. Here, let me pull up. I'm gonna bounce the mood back just a little bit. Are you dudes cool with that?
Yep.
Sure.
All right. So anyway, in the spirit of bouncing the mood back a little bit, have you guys heard this?
Oh no!
What?
Many men like wish death upon me. Blood in my eye, dog, and I can't see. The president is what I'm destined to be, but Democrats trying to take my life away. Put a hole in my ear, now you don't see. Put a coal into all my security. Better watch how you talk when you talk about me, 'cause I'll come and take your life away, man.
Woo!
Many men wish death on me, Lord. I don't cry no more. Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on me. These pissy Democrats put the money on my head. Go get your refund, motherfucker, 'cause I ain't dead. I'm the orange in the fruit bowl that ain't been found. I'm the Republican king,
shit.
and I ain't been crowned. When I rally, something special happens every time. I'm the greatest, something like America in its prime. I rip the concrete jungle. I ain't never been humble.
You think Donald Trump watches these at home?
Okay,
just
so
sitting there.
actually, one thing I have to add in. So
Please.
the rumor was that the RNC was his walkout song, like at the end of the RNC, was supposed to be the 50 Cent Many Men song. And
Really?
the only reason it didn't happen was because 50 Cent denied the invitation to the RNC because he was supposed to be there, and then he was possibly going to do like a joint thing with Kid Rock on stage. And then Molina's like, no, we're making this super classy, and it was like Italian soprano fucking classical music, which was a good touch. He was trying to come off as super classy, but like, if Donald Trump had walked in there on the last day before his speech to Many Men with 50 Cent performing on the stage, like he would have instantly won the presidential election.
They should have just canceled it at that point, dude.
I agree.
He just went full hard with Lee Greenwood, and Lee Greenwood was there, and it was good.
Dude, Lee Greenwood, that played like
not the same as 50 Cent.
That played like 3 times, and then Lee Greenwood, whatever. But anyway, yeah. So that was the headlines. We worked our way through it, and then obviously we talked about the police lethal
Appreciate you guys
force
running
encounter.
it down with me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everybody gets a say in this show, man. Like the cast is the cast, and this show is for the guys in the chat. As long as everybody's enjoying it,
offering up their opinions too, man. Y'all had some good comments.
But with that, we do owe the chat a little bit. I'm going to need you guys to go ahead and put on kit. You're going to need plates, helmet. I tried to do this once before. You know all the shit because we are getting ready to go into the comment section.
This is my daily life.
That was a little loud. Was that a little loud, or is that just me?
It's just you.
It was all right on my headset.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I guess it was just me. So
Baby
anyway,
ears.
with that, one of our former teammates came tearing into the comment section this week, and we always got to pull this up. So, what was this?
Most people are dumb.
Adam, I think you posted this for everyone who would like to understand how money laundering works, right? In politics, we were talking about this. It was the Act Blue stuff.
Yep.
Well, a former teammate of mine and a guy that Brandon knows quite well. His name's Wes Williams. He knows where all the bodies are buried. He jumped in here and he always lights your ass up, Adam. I don't know.
At like 2 in the morning, it's so funny. When I'm working nights, it's like you're just lucky I'm working nights. Like when this goes on.
Wes sends me the screenshots of these every time he fucking hits you up, dude.
It's hilarious. He lets me know too, and I'm like, oh my god. So he said, Adam, let's say I wanted to do this with Costco hot dogs, not dollars. Would James O'Keefe still pretend to be gay and date me for insider info? Would you? Thanks in advance. Just
and I'm pretty sure my response was yes and yes.
Yes, it was
yes.
I saw it.
He wanted, dude. Anybody out for glizzies? Like that's all he's after, bro.
Dude, there was more.
Yeah, there was There was a little bit
Yeah,
of thread to that conversation. It got to the point where we were just talking about lots of gay sex and a lot of hot dogs.
yeah, I had to cut it off.
Do you
for a
even
little
know the
bit.
difference, man? You know,
I don't at this point. You know, I've gotten onto the Gen Z glizzy thing, and I'm like, you know what? When was the last time I actually even made a hot dog? And I bought a pack of hot dogs, but I'm like, I'm not making just regular hot dogs. I'm gonna make like
were they
fancy
all
hot
beef
dogs.
franks, Adam? Were they
They
all
were
beef
like,
franks?
of course they were.
That's
but like
good.
I had to like chop up onions, and I was like toasting the buns. I'm like, I've never even made a fancy hot dog like this before. It was like poor people hot dog. I'm gonna microwave
Troublemaker
this motherfucker
says, "Wait,
with
what?
some
What do you mean?
shitty yellow mustard." But yeah, the glizzies have definitely making a turn for
Where
the
did
Gen
that
Z.
term even come from? Glizzy.
glizzy?
Gen
I was
Z,
wondering
Gen
that
Z,
too.
Gen Z came up with the glizzy thing, and I didn't even know. I'm like, what the fuck? I was overseas when I heard it the first time, and I'm like, yo, bro, they got glizzies at the fucking defect tonight. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Yeah,
I'm like-
seriously.
and I go up there, I'm like, that's a hot dog. No, man, these are glizzies. I'm like, that just sounds gay. Like, it sounds like the Venn diagram from Kamala Harris. Like, you were
Right.
gonna.
This is
like,
gay
how-
and retarded, right?
This is yeah. I was just like, that
It's in
doesn't
the
even make sense.
ballpark.
Like,
Ba-dums.
oh,
That is pretty
fat
funny.
and plump ballparks. It's the way I like my
Hey,
fucking
man.
glizzies. God
Yeah,
damn it.
say Adam likes them flat and plump. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well.
There you go. It's a little late, but that was for you, bro. All right.
Thank
so yeah. Anyway, so this is Adam. Adam actually is bringing us the bulk of the comment section tonight. So since
Oh
he's in
yeah,
the cast,
these are funny.
so but you're gonna have to read these and kind of walk us through what's going on. So here's the first one that you sent me. I got it pulled up.
Oh, okay. So this actually went back to the Air Force Academy. So backstory to
All right.
anyone who's in the AFSOC community out there is General Blumenfield, or however you ever say his name, got fired in AFSOC for being a terrible leader. But they couldn't.
Right.
But he wasn't like bad enough that they could actually like relieve him of command. So what they did was they sent him to the Air Force Academy to get his third star to be the superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy on his retirement tour. And this guy comes in there. And to be fair, Chris and I have talked about this in the background, but like when it comes to military discipline and standards and what's expected of you, you need to earn your stripes, so to speak, right? Like even through basic training, you're wearing your PTs. Through SFAS, you're doing the dumb shit. And that's okay. You know, even as cadets at the military academies, no offense, but you're still not a real military person until you actually get onto active duty and you're serving on a base and you're doing your job, right? So a lot of cadets were complaining like, oh, this guy's having us do a bunch of dumb stuff. But some of the stuff he was having them do at the academy was a little ridiculous. Like he was like, you can only wear your issued bathrobes going to and from the shower. It's like,
You guys
okay,
get
like, that's
issued
just-
bathrobes?
That is the
Hold on.
gayest,
As
most
an
fucking
as an
opposite
enlisted
shit
guy,
I've ever heard, dude.
To be fair,
you
I
guys get
had
enlisted.
okay. First of all, I'm cooler than you, and I have my issued bathrobe still, and sometimes I wear it and I
You
stand at my
guys
front
get
I
lawn.
don't know,
Issued
man.
and
That sounds like a lot of gay shit to me, man.
it's gay, but it's cool. But then like some of the stuff is like, oh, you can't wear civilian clothes on, you know, going to and from, you know, the dormitories after hours, after flags are lowered. And it's like, okay, that's as a cadet and you are in a college environment, you're trying to learn, like that's a little excessive. Like, you know, putting on like shorts and a t-shirt and trying to do homework is like one thing, but having to be in your uniform all day is kind of annoying until
All right,
taps,
so
right?
walk us through this
Like-
stuff, man.
Like that, I understand. So this guy reached out to me, and he's like, yeah, I'm a contractor. I work in the IT field at AFSOC. He's like, you're not wrong about Fat Tony. Now, to be clear, one thing that I even think Aaron Loves America capitalizes on is that especially if you are the 2-star in AFSOC, set the fucking standard. Like you better be.
He's
in
a
shape.
three. He's a
Well,
three-star.
now he's a 3-star. So when he went to the Air
gotcha.
Force Academy, he got his 3rd star. But when he was at AFSOC, he was the 2-star, right? And this guy hasn't passed a PT test in God knows how long. And he
Right, which AFSOC, by the way, for you guys that don't understand, is the Air Force Special Operations Command.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the little green Air Force, as we like to say. And everyone on the AFSOC side, pararescue, combat controllers, they all call him Fat Tony. And I just think it's absolutely
funny.
hilarious, right? And the biggest thing, though, is that he doesn't hold his own troops in high regard. Keep in mind, these are basic, and I'm not equating it because it's a different mission, but these are the equivalents, like the Green Berets of the Air Force, right? And he didn't respect them. He didn't like them. He didn't let them do their
this is
mission.
the
He
next
tied
one.
their hands all the time, and it's really annoying. Kind of like when I was over doing the Syria mission, and you know, the Green Beret general there got really pissed off and made everybody shave their beards off. I don't know if you were there for that, but like that was really funny because it was like,
well, if I was, we don't fall under him. So
yeah, all the group guys, they had to like, you have to wear your berets everywhere you go, and you have to shave your face, and like on those areas up north of the river, right? And it's like,
Get
the
bent,
fuck
dude.
outta here. Yeah. And he is extremely smart, but like like the guy said, but he just lacks people skills, and I think that just goes to the bigger, the bigger, broader conversation.
I guess he pushed back on you. He says here in the end, he says he's a good dude.
He's a good dude. He did fail out of fighter pilot school and got forced back to C-130s, which from an Air Force pilot perspective, that is funny. You failed fighters and had to go back to flying Hercules C-130s. If you suck at flying, you fly C-130s in the Air Force. They're
basically school buses.
Yeah, the only exception to that is the AC-130, which is the combat platform. But
spooky saved my life a couple times.
But let's a bigger conversation before we move on to this comment though is that
all right.
what is this actually going to cause in terms of discipline, morale, and everything else? And my biggest fear is that this guy is not a people person. And although he's making you do dumb uniform shit that I actually agree with, like sometimes standards and cuffs and securities are important. Is that going to fix the sexual assault retaliation problem we have at the Federal Service Academies? Is that going to foster good young second lieutenants coming into our military? And that's what I get worried about, is that if you have a bad example of top tier leadership as your first experience with a 3-star general, how is that going to change your attitude and how you approach decision-making processes with your young troops when you become a commissioned officer, right? And
I think what you're saying is if you don't do the basic things right, then it's like slapping all these uniform standards and like dressings on top of everything.
Right, but also if your example is to be a dick to everybody all the time, and you think that's the image you have to present, and you're covering up sexual assault, rape, retaliation, cheating scandals, everything else that goes on in the academies now that we need to fix. That's my mission, right? On the individual side.
This is a classic do as I say, not as I do situation, right?
Exactly. And my biggest fear is, and I hope I'm wrong about this guy, I hope that he actually is a good officer and he's brand new, he just got there. I hope he changes things and he's dropping the hammer, but I hope that these young, soon-to-be second lieutenants are not learning the wrong things that they're going to bring to their Air Force squadrons when they commission.
Sure.
Right?
Well, look, so we say, and this needs to be said, because we say this all the time. Chris and I talk about this. Adam, we've talked about this when you've been on the podcast, that standards have seriously dropped in the U.S. military, right?
They have.
And that is 100% a fact.
I'm not against the standards, right?
Not
Standards
at all,
are good.
No. And that's the point I'm trying to make. There's a difference between... Exactly. There's a difference between holding the line and upholding standards and doing shit like this that makes no sense because you're on an ego trip. That's all I'm trying to say.
Exactly. I 100% agree with you. All right, Chris, you can go to the next one. We can go into the political fucking shit show that I started a couple days ago.
Okay, what did you do? Are you like Adam,
Dude, Adam
or are you like Brandon? Are you making people apologize in their DMs?
This goes, and I'm sorry if these people are actually watching it, but
they spelled your name like the chip, dude.
They do it intentionally to piss me off.
Dorito.
It doesn't piss me off. So this lady,
nacho cheese Dorito.
These are the people that are involved in the establishment GOP here in Colorado, right? And like I said, only old people use Facebook. And these older people are using anonymous accounts. Like Paris Green is not a real person. There's another person called like La Plata or whatever. And what they do is they intentionally try... Well, they're not bots. They're They're actual people like in the background kind of know who they are, but they can't confirm their identity. But these one of my posts I made on these Facebook forums is like, hey, if we're going to have an actual unified Republican Party here in the state of Colorado, should we not be removing anonymous fake accounts from these Facebook groups because they are purposely sowing disinformation into these groups to divide the party into an election, which is super critical right now.
Well, I like how she calls you. I'm assuming Paris is a chick. I'm just going to go with that. But I like how she calls you a rhino. That's like the N-word for like right-wing Republicans.
Yeah, I'm also not old enough to be a rhino, so that's not possible. And to be fair, I have said that. I haven't said let's get all the old people out of the way. I have said that if you are retired and unemployed, you should not be serving in public office. It is time for you to go take care of your grandkids. Grandpa hand over the keys, so to speak. Right, Chris?
Right. And, well, yeah, exactly. We had that conveation the other night, too.
You can be too young for office. You can be too old, dog.
Right, but people our age need to be careful. Well, let
me make that comparison really quick. I was talking. Adam and I were having this conversation the other night, and I was like, you know what? Everybody has gone through that period where they've had either a parent or a grandparent where it's like they're literally too frail to even maintain their own property, maintain their own house anymore. You go over to them and you're like, hey, Grandpa, did you know that the roof is leaking? Yeah, but I can't get up there to fix it. Like, okay, look at the yard, look at the sink, look at the disrepair in here. And it's like, yeah, but I can't really get around to do it. Let me help you. And it's like, this is what we're watching with our government right? From the top all the way
Oh, I
down. We've got
agree.
people that are 70 and 80 years old and they're in charge of it. Listen, they don't have a future in mind because where they're at right now was the future that they saw for themselves. They don't have children. A lot of these politicians don't. They don't care what's going to happen 10 years from now. It's on us, and that's why they're just like, don't care. I'm punching out as much money as I can, getting my book deals, and I'm out, bitches. And like that's the way that they're running government. And so, no, 100% correct. And that's why we've got Leatherwood LLC and we're doing all this stuff because it's like, yeah, exactly. Hey,
Well, and
Grandpa,
the funny thing is
I'm
like,
sorry. Give me the keys. It's
I
my
am-
turn. I'm sorry. It's for
even
your
on
own good.
even on these forums, like I am the most public person. I have my own website, I have my own podcast. All my dirty laundry has been aired on podcasts, or what people perceive as that. And the best part is like that lady came back and said, "Well, you're a snitch and an infiltrator." We're trying to refer to my
You didn't even spell
time.
infiltrator right.
Yeah, yeah.
Gunner Nazi! No point for you!
She was trying to refer to my time as an undercover informant for Air Force OSI, and I was like, yes, if you're saying that I am a snitch for rapists in the military, that is 100% accurate, and no, I'm not going to apologize for that, right? So, but once again, this is just an example, and I don't know if you had another one of those screenshots for the next one.
Yeah,
but
I have all the ones that you sent me.
Or you can put it up if you want. Like we'll just.
So this is
rounding
her.
down
You're
that.
a rhino. That's what she called you.
Yeah, she like,
And
let's
then
remove it,
you-
and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm like, if you're retired and unemployed, you shouldn't be serving anything. But my biggest argument to these people too, as you go to the next comment, is that especially for veterans, first responders, police officers out there who are going to get involved with these things, is that you were
Better
subjected.
Betsy freedom.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
stitches, dude.
You were subjected to a system that sent our generation to war for 20 years. You crashed the stock market in 2008. You have destroyed this country collectively. And you're telling me that if we only just continue your version of politics into the next generation, under the next Trump administration.
It was just because they didn't have enough power. If you just give them more power,
If you give them a little
This
bit
is
more.
starting to sound like
they can finally
it's
fix
not
it.
real communism.
Yeah. So, I mean, and one
Wait a
thing
second. This is just more gay
It wasn't
communism.
real. It wasn't.
Oh,
real.
so-
It's
always has been.
And the reason that I send these comments to you, and for people watching these who are going to start getting involved in local politics, or the 501(c) that we're working with now, is that you will be attacked online like this. They are going to call you an infiltrator because you're trying to upset the establishment.
That's what she said. Colorado Republicans should ban you for being an infill dash traitor. I don't know
So
why she.
creative,
That's
first
not.
off.
That's not hyphenated.
Congratulations on spelling it
I
right.
think she was trying to. I think she was trying to infer that I was a traitor.
She was. Yeah, Adam.
Oh.
Yellow
And,
bellied piece
you're a
of
spy
shit.
and a snitch. And it's like, and to be fair, nothing I've said on these forums isn't true. You know what I mean? And I sat there and went, they use their nonsense credentialism, like I said before. But this is the biggest important thing, which is unfortunate that Lauren Boebert did post this, because I really do like Lauren. But even she came up and stated that we should oust the current GOP, chairman, and we should change things over. Now, I don't know the reason for this. I don't know why she said these things. I can't say I think we need a change in leadership? And yes, maybe,
Well,
vote for Doritos, so to speak, right? But
Didn't she leave one district and then run in another one and leave
she
the
did.
There was
She-
something
she-
weird
she
going on
did.
there.
She left District 3 and she ran
Yeah.
District 4. That's what she's running in now. But
Okay.
this is a big deal, is because Lauren Boebert is now aligning herself more with the establishment Republicans, and and she's not an establishment
Is
Republican.
that bound to
She's
happen though? Is that one of these things that's just like
possibly,
a
and this is
waiting
my
game?
theory. My theory behind this is that, and this is something that, this is why we brought up the Act Blue stuff in the beginning, right? Is that I don't know the reason why Lauren said that we need to change the Republican Party the way it is. I don't know. I'm not picking sides, whether that's, the establishment or the new so-called grassroots conservative movement. But what I'm saying is that money is a factor. Was there donations getting put into this campaign? Was she told by other people, hey, this is what you need to do? I'm not sure. I don't know the answers to those questions. But like I said,
Thank you,
keep an
Aaron.
open mind. When you get involved, yeah, nice purple drink.
It's Chris's
It's,
Pedialyte. It's his Pedialyte.
Nope.
It's
Nope.
Pedialyte,
This
bitch.
is Bearded Viking pear.
Oh, Bearded Viking. My
honey
stuff's
mead.
my stuff's actually still in the bottles in my rack. I got to drink some of that. Shout out to those guys. Those
It's
guys
purple.
are awesome dudes
I like
in
that,
Montana.
man.
It is. This one is purple. Yeah.
Poa
But
drank.
So my biggest thing is guys getting involved in politics. Don't take anything people say to you personally. You're going to get attacked. You're no matter what you do, it's going to happen, right? But keep an open mind. Do the research. Have the
Green
evidence and facts
Berets.
behind you. You don't necessarily need to go against other people and constantly call them out for their bullshit. What you can do, though, is that you could stick to the facts, stick to the narrative that you need to project in order to motivate people to
Sure.
keep running for politics. Because if I took these personally, then I'm going to leave this group. I'm not going to stay involved, and they hurt my feelings. They called me a traitor. and I've served my country because I'm a fucking veteran. Shut up, idiot. You know, you got to have thick skin when you get into this game. Like whether it's podcasting, YouTube, or politics, you got to have thick skin. You just got to keep pushing forward and doing the right thing.
We talked about that last week.
Just because you're a veteran doesn't mean you're a good person.
Oh, I agree with that. I've tried to send numerous people to jail. So fuck these people. Just because you're in the military does not mean you're a good person.
You were an Air Force cop too, Brandon. You saw the worst of what the military had to offer.
There's some terrible people that wear the uniform.
And Chris, dude, no shade, dog, but some of the worst people I've ever met in my life were soldiers.
Actually, and that's like this is actually a really good point.
No
you know, as we start to close this out, though, is that veterans who run for Congress who constantly run off that I served in the military, I'm a veteran,
Correct.
I'm a Bronze
Yeah,
Star
thank
winner.
you.
Dude,
Don't believe
the
it.
fuck up, dude.
Don't believe it, right? Like for example, Jason Crow in Colorado has been running on the fact that he won a Bronze Star in 2003, like it's still fucking relevant today. First, you know what I mean? And
it's win Bronze Stars, dog.
The one-eyed pirate from Texas, dude.
Exactly. So my biggest thing is that just because somebody says they're a veteran, like when I go to public meetings and
it's not a qualifier.
And I'm still serving in the military now. You know, just
Brandon,
like
what
Chris
is this? Chris likes Hebrew National. What is Hebrew National?
Oh no, we're talking about hot dogs, and I said Chris also likes Hebrew.
Yeah,
now, listen, I was an equal opportunity employer because this is Chris also
just looking
likes.
down, I'm like, what is this?
No, Chris also likes Hebrew and Shebrew hot dogs.
Yeah, so my biggest thing is for everyone watching this podcast who's going to be getting involved with the Common Sense Network and the America First Veterans Alliance is that don't use your status as a veteran.
That was a subtle switchback, sorry.
Yeah, don't use your status as a veteran to constantly credential yourself as why people should listen to you and vote for you. Go on your morals. Right. Go on your platform. Go on what the people you care about and that you're a constitutionalist, right? Thank you for serving your country, you idiot. Yeah, just like us, we're all fucking volunteers. Shut up. You're not special. You are not a unique
Hitler
and special
was a veteran
snowflake.
Too.
Damn.
You know, like here's a really good point.
Really
like
was. Just saying.
a lot of people what they'll do is they'll find like the hardest thing that they ever did in their life, and then that becomes their entire personality. And so instead of like going on and finding the next objective and taking the next hill and moving on, right? What's up, man? Thanks for hanging out so long. This one ran long tonight, guys.
It did.
And they usually don't run this long, but like typically like what you'll see is that guy is sitting down at the end of the bar drinking by himself and talking about the good old days. Doesn't matter if he's wearing a high school letterman's jacket or if he's wearing, you know, in his mind he's still wearing his Army uniform. It's like, bro, listen, like, come over here, man. We got to move on. Those are good times we have. But there's the next.
Do something.
There's the
right,
next
Chris.
objective.
Do something hard every day. Whether that's like fucking 10 deadlifts or whatever it is. Do something hard every day. Challenge yourself, right? If you're not
build a new project, build a business, like come up with something,
right?
Whatever it is that you're doing.
Participate.
If you're not trying to be a better person every day and constantly be a better human, you can't keep living off what you did 20 years ago. And that's what I encourage this new generation of America First candidates coming up in the system now is, you have a history, you have a little bit of street cred because you have some life experience, firefighter, EMT, police officer, military, whatever that is. But at the end of the day, what are you doing right now? What is your job?
John Hambrock in the chat.
Yeah, are you taking care? What's up, Dad?
Hey, what's up, man? That's my brother. Welcome. It's really
your brother
good to
cares
see you
about
tonight.
you. That must be nice.
I think he just logged in. I think he just logged in to get dirt on me. It's fine. But no, there's a thing that Troublemaker said, and I love it. He said it's like the drug addict who gets clean, and then all of a sudden is the moral authority on everything. Like, dude, you made it back to zero. Get over yourself.
Yes.
That's like perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man, just because you did heroin,
brother,
279 times doesn't mean you have the moral high ground. Okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right. No, that's perfectly said. Like I don't think we can even end it any better than that.
I agree.
No, you're
right. Be a good person. Don't be a douchebag. Don't shoot innocent people, and don't flaunt your blonde star from 20 years ago.
I mean, what's the number one rule of being in special forces? Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Like that's it, dude. Be physically fit and don't be a dick, and you'll be fine. You know.
Yep.
PT test.
Anyway. Guys, I'll do the first one. We'll go around the horn and then we'll end back. Hey, if you enjoyed the chat tonight, please make sure. I think at one point we had 40 people in here, so I really would like to see 40 likes on that button. Please share this link with somebody because we had a blast tonight. I think this was probably like the best live fire that we've done so far, and it keeps getting bigger each week. This week was 10 more viewers than last week, and I'd like to see it do that next week too. Hey, make sure that you're subscribed to Common Freaking Sense on Instagram, Rumble, all those platforms. Make sure you're subscribed to I Came With Fire, which is this page that you're watching right now, I Came With Fire, which is where the live fire is on Instagram, YouTube, and Rumble. And then Adam Dorito, make sure you're subscribed to him, Adam.Dorito 2010.
Yep.
Instagram.
I'm gonna do a sponsor shout out when you're
all
done,
that
Chris.
stuff. Yep, and then we got the sponsors. But hey, thank you guys for sticking with us so long. We had a blast tonight. It was so much fun. That was me ending what I have to say for the night.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can go follow Common Freaking Sense, I Came with Fire podcast, Adam Dorito, and the Common Sense Network, where you can find I Came with Fire podcast, Common Freaking Sense, Adam Dorito, the Great Girth podcast. Common Freaking Sense Net or Common Sense Network is a confluence of ideas. We're trying to build a channel. We're trying to build a place where you guys can go to get great info all the time. But I'm gonna give a sponsorship shout out real quick. Redefine Violence. If you are a survivor of violent circumstance as a military member, an LEO, EMT, firefighter, right? This brand is for you. We've had Luis Esmendola, the founder of Redefine Violence, on the podcast before. Super awesome guy, ran for state office in Texas. Unfortunately, didn't win, but that's okay. Super awesome dude. You can use code FIRE10 to get 10% off your entire purchase for some awesome clothing and then MMA gear. We also have Skull and Crossbeans Coffee, which is an Air Force veteran-owned coffee company. I really enjoy their Blackbeard blend. They also have some really great flavored coffees as well. Again, code FIRE10 for 10% off your fire purchase, and then 10% off your entire purchase. And the last one, we got the Light Sleeper, which is a sleep system. Essentially, it is a lightweight tent that you can use, especially now during the summer. You want to get out, you want to do some camping, go do some hiking, get the Light Sleeper. You can use code FIRE10 again across all three of those, our sponsors, and get 10% off your entire purchases. If you enjoy us, you want to support us, one of the best ways to support us is to support our sponsors. It is a Redefine Violence, Skull and Crossbeans Coffee, and the Light Sleeper.
Hell yeah, brothers.
Hell yeah, brother.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you guys next week, every Friday night, live fire, 10 p.m. EST, here on Rumble. Thanks,
Later.
guys.
Out.